Peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. My name is Brother Legend. I'm here to raise your consciousness. As always, if you're joining us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Let the algorithm know that you're getting something from the live. And you can also join us on TikTok, BIGBROLGND. That's my TikTok, my Twitter. You can find me there, b1initiative.org, to learn more about our projects. What up, what up? What up, y'all? Come on in, come on in. What up, what up? What's going on down there? Joining y'all in this melanated Friday evening. Here to talk to some people about some things, answer some questions, you know what I'm saying? Anybody want to come up? Keep tapping like when we get to 2K. I'll bring people up. Peace, lovely rose petals. What's going on, sister? Progress report. B1 Initiative is alive and well. We're doing some mighty fine things. Brothers and sisters coming together, building for our people. What up, what up? What up, what up, what up? Let's answer the questions, yes or no, down below. Just put yes, no, whatever you're thinking. I'll give out a grade based on your responses. I'm grading people, as always. Y'all know how it go. Ask the same questions, get a different show every time. But I haven't heard anything new in quite a while. We're not hearing anything new anymore. People usually come up with the same old, same old. No one's convinced me yet. Lovely Rose Petals gets the first A+ of the day. Absolutely. That's an A+. Tracy F, I know you playing. I know Tracy playing. Tracy got jokes. Peace, Kit Kat. What's going on, sister? Tracy got jokes. She said, I think yes to all. That's crazy. That's wild. Nah, you gotta be playing. You gotta be kidding. I would love to hear your reasoning. Y'all keep tapping like. I need to know. I need to know why someone would answer yes to every question. I gotta know. Timothy, what's going on, brother? When we get to 2 likes, Tracy, I'll bring you up. 2K likes. I gotta know the answer why you feel that way. That's wild. Okay, seductive. Absolutely. Peace, brother Timothy. Seductive gets an A+. The seductive gets an A. I don't know if I should give a plus in the comments, but seductive gets an A. Absolutely. Can we make those African kisses though? You know, I'm not a big fan of France. Young AJ, wait, did you drop the answer? Cause I know you probably dropped some popcorn. Yo, every time I see him in the chat, he dropping popcorn. Yo, you hilarious, bro. AJ is hilarious. You're hilarious, man. I hope you well though. The plus is when you can explain why. Right, yeah, I think the plus is when you can explain why. The plus demonstrates consciousness. So The plus demonstrates a level of consciousness. Um, do interracial relationships benefit the black community? Let's talk about it. A lot of us don't even know who's black anymore. I don't know if y'all been watching, but some people think you're not black if you're not born in America now. Apparently, some people think you're black if you speak a different language. Some people think you're not black if you got a white parent. Line drawn in our community where if you don't have this, you ain't one of us. Not everybody though. Shout out to the Pan Africans. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the true Garveyites. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe non-black parents can raise pro-black children. Absolutely, Muso. What do you think of the FBA? FBA stands for Fear of Being African. FBA stands for Fear of Being African. I stay away from anybody that's afraid of being African. I stay far away from them. Everybody probably should. It's actually better for your mental health to have a positive association with your African identity. Brother Timothy down here tell you, you know. So
Yep.
absolutely.
Psychologist Dr. Rita Walker. Big
Hmm.
shout out to that queen.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Queen Dem. You're not black if you don't vote for Joe. Yeah, that's how that's. Yeah, I can't believe he said that on a black radio station. How disrespectful. FEA, fear of being African is wild. I'm gonna sit and listen. That's what that means. Fear of being African. FBA. They took African out the word. See, they don't like the term African American, so they came up with FBA. But why they keep the American and take out the African? That don't make you think.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Like
especially since. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, King.
I was gonna say, I have a problem with African American too, but I have a problem with the American, not the African. We just gotta figure out a more ethical phrasing for those in the diaspora. But in the meantime, I'll be an African. Why do they have to take African out of the word, but they kept American? Foundational Black American. Peace to you. What's going on, sister? Timothy, what's good, brother?
Oh, out here living lavish, trying to make sure people understand that FBA is quite literally just a self hating person of African ancestry trying their hardest to disassociate themselves from their African identity because Europeans taught them to hate everything about Africa. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what that is. And so, it's so we know why like brother Timothy just said, it's because they their oppressor taught them to have a negative association with the continent of Africa and their African roots. So, um, for MIDI, as what seems like a means for survival, they cleave to whatever other identity they can, even the identity of their oppressor, American. What up, Sister Tia?
Hey y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I just came up because I don't know if y'all were just like talking through why this is because I just kind of came in the middle of y'all talking. But this is something I've been thinking about that I kind of have a theory about. Um, I don't remember if you remember the night. I don't even remember how it was that I came up coming up to talk about like the motto and sharing that source about Jamaica.
Mm,
But the thought that I have about around this is that this is like a second coming of this concept of like creolization, and kind of like convincing people to drop the hyphen or whatever the additional adjective is and just galvanize under this idea of being American. Um, I think there's a couple of like variables that are behind it, but it feels like a very similar manifestation of the same thing. If you can get people to stop talking or stop focusing on race and be like, oh yeah, we're all American, we're all this, we're all that. Like, doesn't that change the nature of a whole lot of conversations? You
Mm,
can politically get people to galvanize behind certain things, to stop fighting for certain things. um I'd hate to see that snowball in a way, but it feels eerily similar based upon a lot of things that I've read about the same concept happening in other places, and how the changing of that like personal identity and that roll up to like a community identity, um,
mhm,
into like a national identity changes kind of like everything else.
mm.
So I just wanted to
Yeah,
add that thought.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Dang, hold on. That's a fact. Yeah, that's we'd rather take on any other identity, it seems. Except that's the thing, like we'll defend those identities before we defend our own people. And so that's kind of like the paradigm shift necessary for Pan Africans is like to start thinking,
Were you
um,
eating outside?
yeah, yeah, I'm about to go
Oh,
outside.
okay.
Birds now.
They
I'm
got
gonna
something
be
to say about that Africanity too.
outside. Word. Yo,
Like,
funny.
yep. That one goal of mine is to make sure that everybody's using that word by the time I leave this planet.
But yeah. What you got going on? I really don't think non-black parents can raise. Absolutely not. I already know your answer, Nubian. Nubian been coming to my lives for like a minute. You heard Pope Francis. Apologies for. He apologized for colonialism. What? No way. No way. He didn't mean it.
Apologize for touching them little boys.
Ah. He didn't mean it. He just said that. I'm sure. I'm sure he didn't mean it. The Pope never means anything they say. Like if they mean it right, if I'm sorry about something I did, right? Like let's say I put a hole in your wall. Like I'm really sorry, or if I'm just saying I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry is like, oh my bad, but like being sorry, like you're gonna work to fix that hole. At least make her feel better about it or something. He didn't mean it. I don't think like names like that are good. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. People. What do you mean, Rose? Names with hyphens. Oh, okay. Like ethnic sounding names, quote unquote, with hyphens. Exactly. Yo, that's a video I won't explain the names that black people have. Yeah, I heard a few things about black people giving long names, like ancestors doing that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of like there's so many different things that we now classify as being like culturally ours that
Mm.
don't actually originate from ancient African customs. And I definitely do know that, in ancient times we did have like a wide range of names. Like we would have full titles that would be like, all right, it was your responsibility to make sure that 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 full titleship was, named out right along with everybody else's, named out in higher courts, higher positions, and just in regular day to day life.
Mm.
I know that that was a thing, I believe, but yeah, like I'd have to study a little bit more into the length of names that we're seeing nowadays versus back then in order to find out if that's yeah.
Peace, Nubian. What's going on?
Peace, peace, peace. What's happening?
Hey, we chilling. Good to have you up.
Can you hear
What
me?
brings you? Yeah, we hear you.
Great, great, great.
What brings you up? Want to answer some
Can
questions?
black and white culture peacefully coexist? I can't really answer that one unless I know what white culture is.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a few.
What is it?
We got a few example of it, but basically, stealing and by any means
Man.
necessary, pretty much. And inhumanity is key. Like the Tesla, that new Tesla truck that Elon Musk made, you know,
Yes.
yeah, it looks like a little like robot. Like that truck, the design of it is very much like white supremacy. Like that's the perfect example of white supremacy is the design of that truck. I was just looking at that like people that know design know like Europeans love straight lines a lot. Like that's why our doorways are like really square because they just like that's why our phones are rectangles. Like why would you invent something to be held in a hand in a rectangle? You know, why would you invent a doorway that's like so straight, like it's not wider on the sides, like, more like human
I
looking
never
art.
thought about that.
Yeah, more human looking art comes from us. But no, you gotta, well, it's a thing. Like the architects that make houses look like museums, you think of like a rich person's house. You think of a lot of glass, a lot of like white marble, um, like the way that it's designed, and then everything is like straight line, like Iron Man's house or something. Like it's like straight lines, and it just looks like it doesn't belong in nature. It looks like it's
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Like a hunk of like plastic and metal, marble and metal. But anyway, the design of that truck is funny because as much as it looks devoid of humanness, because it's so many sharp angles, they still needed to have round wheels because at the end you still need to bring it back like, and that's like white culture. That's like what they do. They need that humanness from us, and they take it and they just put straight lines all in it. Like, I don't know. That's what I've been thinking about with that truck. Like when I see that, I'm really into to design. Like, and when I see straight lines like that, I think of either Europeans or Asians. One of them did that.
That's
I always
wild.
copying and not bathing. That's just me.
Yeah, like that. It just don't make sense though, because as much as he tried to, like, as much as they'll try to create something off the back of anything else, they end up still needing us for the humanity. Like, we treat people humanely, we treat each other with pre colonization and indoctrination into a Western mindset. We treat each other more humanely. Even our servants were treated much more humanely. And it's just like, that's what they do. Take humanity out of things. Why would you make something that needs to like look like it doesn't belong in nature? I don't know. To me, that's white supremacy. That's how you know. Straight lines is lack of creativity.
Well, we
Exactly.
do have a loving nature. That's why they take advantage of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, the lines give it rhythm. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. Chemet and chemistry. Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, Kemet had lines. I mean, not, but still, like you can use lines. I'm not saying no lines, but it just feels human when you go to a African art museum or African history museum, which usually has art. Like when you look at the statues, like like it's just like curvy, brown. Like they'll use some dark wood or something like, you know what I'm saying? And then you think of European statues, and it's like, once again, lack of creativity, and they just go straight to realistic. Like Michelangelo's statues, you can see the veins in Jesus. Like it's a marble statue, but you can see veins and you can see through cloths. Like, it's weird that you could see, like, he made it look like they had a cloth over Mary's head, but you can still see like the shape of her face. And it's a marble statue, you know. So once again, they lack creativity and they just go to realism. I'm really into design, y'all. Like that's why I don't know.
Weird,
That's
weird,
part of my
weird.
thing. Like I'm into design and I'm into like I think the weirdest things I'm into is this. I don't know. You see racism all over the place. Designing things, music like that. That's just a thing.
Yeah, no, that's real though. It's very real. Like I that's why watching there's this TV show on Disney Plus called Iwaju,
Hmm.
and I actually like that. Like it does give a little bit more of a futuristic version of what Lagos, Nigeria, is going to be, and just to kind of see the ways in which like future technologies could actually be a thing. Um, it's it's very eye opening, but also like the style and designs of the homes. You can see that yeah, very clearly there was a lot of creativity that is put into African architecture, and I mean literally all of European architecture comes from them copying off of ancient Africans. So
Mm.
you know, and they still copy off of all of our designs. There's actually a I made a video clip about it where there's this YT woman who established a whole company, makes, you know, I'd probably say thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. And she got the design by stealing, um, like a 4,000 year old, or I think it's older than that. It's from 4,000 to 3,000 BC, um, which is like a 7,000 year old type of technology. Well, yeah, obviously, math is wrong. But what it is that it's a bowl that has like 2 feet at the bottom of it,
Mm.
and that was a customary ancient African traditional practice. Like we just that was just something we don't know 100% what it's directly tied to, I believe, but we know that it was found in ancient African spaces. But what did she do? She more than likely went to some museum exhibit at one point, or saw it on the website and then stole the idea, pretended as if it was hers, and then put a patent behind it, established a company for it, and now she's making money off of the theft of ancient African intellectual property. So yeah, that's what they do. They don't have any original ideas. They have to steal from everybody else, specifically Africans, because they just have no original creative ideas. They lack the melanin to be able to connect the brain circuits necessary to create. So it's yeah.
Yeah. Sister Nubian, tapping while you in the panel gets us. Um, it don't help. Like I forgot what it does. It was like it gets you in off the For You page, but I don't think we on the For You page anyway. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I heard from a different panel earlier that they may have changed the rules behind that, but I don't trust TikTok, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, they used to think it it has something to do with they think you have a automatic phone tapper thing, like a bot.
Oh, okay.
They don't want yeah. Yeah, uh, yeah, but what's going on, D?
Hey y'all, how long y'all been up?
I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was in line picking up my kid. Oh my God. Listen, I got my voice back. Tia was
Okay.
laughing because she was like, "You sound congested." She was judging me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That I got it back, and I'm like, okay, now for the show out.
You see how somebody gave you your voice back and you come to use it to slander me? The wickedness.
Did you not
Just
say
wicked.
Did you not say I sounded bad? You sound a little congested.
That was concern.
Okay. Well, you can certainly cuss me out because I didn't have no live.
Oh,
And then when you heard me talking, you said, "Oh." You said,
listen,
"Oh."
you left me high and dry for 48 hours.
And then you heard me talking
I
and
was
said,
unwell.
"Oh." This explains it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Are we going up? Okay, let's go. Hello, and welcome in, you guys. You are in Brother Legends Live. I need you to tap that screen. Tap, tap, tap. Power, tap that screen. Tap the screen like you were tapping that last night. I need you to get active in the chat. Make sure that you're tapping the screen. Drop some tubs because it's time to bathe. And I need you to know, if you're not tapping the screen or sharing the live, you gotta go. But on top of tapping the screen and sharing the live, you make sure that you subscribe here at Brother Legends Live, here on Twitter. Also, make sure you join B1 Initiative, where you can learn to be great. But most important, thank you, Miss Stella. But most importantly, you guys, we need help. Are you trying to be a part of the greatness? Are you trying to be a part of building the future? Are we looking to be black? Let's go, everybody, and join b1initiative.org, where you can learn to be great and build with black people. Now, I kind of faded out there. What am I forgetting, brother? Oh, we need donations. If you don't have time to help, if you can't get to work, you can definitely donate $1 or even subscribe. Brother Legend's gonna go ahead and put that Cash App up there as well as
Oh,
click on
yeah.
the link. And Timothy is in the chat dropping down to b1initiative.org. We need your help and your support. So come on, y'all, join the team. Let's build something great for the black children of the future.
Thank you, Sister D. She dropped a bar then for the future. I forgot how to do it. They changed the whole menu around, man.
You see the sticker? Or it don't look the same?
I don't see. Hold on, bro. What? Nope. I'm gonna figure that out.
Bring down Babylon, y'all.
We gonna find it. It just might take a moment, but it's funny because like I'll be coding some ish and I'm good, but people like the way they design these menus on TikTok, man. It's like whoever does this is really bad. Like,
Gotta update stuff and it looks different.
oh, word.
Yeah, they recently updated it.
Oh, they did, yeah. Cause I lost sounds and all that.
Yeah, Timothy was
Oh, I
saying that
think
too
you
the
go
other day.
not wait. I think you can only put a sticker here. You can only change the name, right?
No,
You can only
you
put a sticker here before I think the live starts.
no. You can do it while the
No?
live is active.
Word.
Yeah, you can go to what is it? I need to look at it. It should have a the little paper. It looks like noties, like sticky notes. You don't see that?
I see business, subscribe, enhance, and more.
More.
All right, I'm in more. I see.
You don't see the sticky note or the
No,
sticker?
I don't see. I see Poland. Hold on, pole. Nah, that's different.
That's not the poll.
Yeah, draw and guess. That's something else. We ain't doing that. That look like a video. That look like a game. I don't
Let me get
know.
on my other phone and look. Hold on.
But I was just thinking I might have to change this prompt because like her this area is kind of like they flagged lives for that. I didn't think of that. But yeah, man, this was a picture I saw on Twitter, and I was like, that speaks exactly like it's an AI photo, but it speaks exactly to what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing talks about and their fear of losing recessive traits being the foundation for racism, white supremacy worldwide. Like, so it's kind of wild. Like, that's definitely one of the 10 areas people activity, and I think is like, especially the blue eye part is like a really recessive trait, even for them. Like, a lot of them don't even like blue eyes is like disappearing. Like they said, it's going to be extinct in like 50 years. Like, there's not going to be any more of them. But
Yeah, 'cause, I think some of the studies that I read up on in regards to like how much melanin is actually how much naturally produced melanin that a person has, a lot of that goes into the eyesight. And yeah, like what people don't realize is that having deep dark brown eyes is actually a biological advantage.
it is,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like there's more of a vibrancy of the colors that you're able to see, whereas YT people, people that don't have brown eyes, have a more like a kind of tannish, grayish hue with their vision capabilities. And yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's, it's interesting to actually read the research papers, because this whole "we are the world" nonsense that they keep on coming out with is, I mean, it's getting pew-pewed down with every research paper that they're actually coming out with. Okay. It's like y'all have better eyesight. Like,
Yeah.
okay. We have,
There was a fella from the Yonkeyverse that made like had a debate with Francis Cress Welsing. I forgot his name, but he was like, he was, I don't want to say the Donald Trump of his day. What's that dude that is so racist that Kanye like brought him to Trump's house and something happened? I forgot the name of that podcast guy. Somebody might know, but yeah, like she did a racist with. I mean, she did a debate with this like Klan member, damn near, and he was saying that because we have better eyesight, there, like he was using that as
Nick
proof.
Fuentes?
What?
Nick Fuentes?
Yeah, like he was the Nick Fuentes of back then, and he was old. He was like an old dude. Nah, it wasn't Limbaugh. Nah, nah.
was it David Duke?
No, no, no. This guy was way worse than all of those guys.
Oh boy.
Worse than all of those guys because he was a scientist. He was there. He was there, Francis Cress Welsing.
Oh.
Look up Francis Cress Welsing. No, not Evan. No. I don't know who that is, but no. I
You
forgot
said
his name.
somebody Kanye brought.
Who?
You said somebody Kanye brought to
No, no,
Trump
no. That's
rally.
Nick
Oh,
Fuentes,
oh,
who you're
oh,
talking
oh,
about. That's what the answer to who I was saying he was like is. But the
okay.
guy she was debating, if you look up like Francis Cress Wilson firing line, that's the name of the interview, firing line. And they're like debating back and forth. But his thesis was
William F. Buckley Jr.
no, that's the host. Buckley is the one that debated uh Buckley is the one that debated James Baldwin. Remember we watched that debate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Buckley had his own show later on called Firing Line, where he interviewed Huey Newton. Um, I think Stokely Carmichael was on there. I'm not sure. I know Stokely Carmichael got in trouble in one of his interviews. Um, but yeah, like a lot of people was there. Shockley, Shockley. That's who it is. Peace, Dr. Robert. Dr. Robert, you know William Shockley. You know what I'm saying? Like some of y'all was around. Think of the name William Shockley if y'all was around. That dude is wild. That dude is wild. Like, are you serious? And he uses science to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? So his use of science was, he took the knowledge that we have better eyesight as people, and said that there are genetic reasons why we're less educated and can't get anywhere in society. That, just like, you do have some of the advantages, you have better eyesight, but we just have more brains. Like that's, yo, that's how the dude talks. Like he's just on another level.
Yeah, by that point that he was alive, the study of neuromelanin didn't come out yet, and it determined that higher concentrations of naturally produced melanin. Um, well, I mean, I think they classified neuromelanin as something slightly different, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it is. I mean, it's in the name, damn it.
Yeah.
But with higher concentrations of naturally produced melanin, it has been shown to be linked to higher cognitive function because with melanin, there's more connectivity between the neurons in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and also black people have less calcified pineal glands. The pineal glands responsible for our perception of reality. It also produces the chemicals that allow us to go to sleep and wake up. So yeah, he didn't get, that memo yet. Or maybe they did. Maybe they did get the memo back in the day. They just didn't want to talk about it publicly. But, I mean, quite literally based off of the science in and of itself, black people have more connections in neurons in the brain, which by default makes them more intelligent than every other racial demographic on the planet. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's wild.
hmm Yeah. And it's like they talk about it being, oh, that's black supremacist talk. We don't want to da, da, da. Like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. This is studies that your own institutions in Europe are coming out with and are making publicly available to the world. So are they just lying about all that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what would be the benefit to telling black people that they literally have capabilities that nobody else has?
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah. That's the thing. So we need more black teachers. I just seen a video about that too. Like, um, especially for the brothers, like the young boys. Like, I never had a black man as my teacher. Never once. I had two black women, but when I was in school, like elementary through high school, it was white T man or white T woman. Even when I was in a non-white area, they was coming there to oversee, make sure we learn what they taught us. Let me talk to Sister Juicy. What's going on?
Hi, how you doing, panel? Thank you for
Hey,
having me up here.
peace. Give us your age, your race, and your pronouns, please.
Um, my age. I'm.
Age. I mean, you give us a range. You don't have to actually. Yeah.
I ain't ashamed. I'm 41,
All right.
and I was born uh a brown skinned woman.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, baby, I was reading your topic, right? And I was trying to understand what the question is saying. Um, can a non-black person be pro-black? Like, what do you mean by that? That's why I had to come up here. I didn't quite understand the question.
Another way to put it is, do you think a non-black person would prioritize what's in the best interest of the black community and building within the black community?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
like pro meaning it's a priority. You know.
Okay, so for the first one, I don't know about benefiting the community, but this is just my opinion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not to hurt anyone's feelings or any culture, any race, or anything like that. But just my opinion, like, as a black person, we get treated so differently, right? But we are the minorities, meaning that we can teach all cultures because it's just natural for us to, And one thing that I have learned about the black race is that we mismingle with every culture out here. We about the only culture that mix mingle with every culture, literally. So about the first question, yes, black people can actually a black person can raise a Caucasian and teach a Caucasian. Now, vice versa, I don't think that it. Cause see, a Caucasian trying to teach a black person, it's gonna be full of lies. I mean, I'm just being now. That's just my opinion, baby. That's just my opinion, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being honest.
Well, I mean, it's not a far-fetched opinion because, I mean, technically speaking, like, yeah, black people, we have a level of understanding in a lot more than I would say any other demographic. So, and plus at the same time, we literally have several times attempted to civilize YT people for thousands of years. So, like, I mean, it's not far-fetched,
We
but
failed.
yeah, we failed. We definitely did fail, but we tried. And I think that we definitely have the knowledge, the know-how, the capability, but at the same time, is it our responsibility? Hell to the no. And should we, a matter of fact, it is to our detriment teaching YT people anything about anything. So it
Mm-hmm.
is now at this point, it is our responsibility to actively remove them permanently from the ability to be able to learn from us.
Okay, I have some. I want to comment on that, sir. I want to comment on that statement that you just made because I'm in a basically Caucasian state, okay,
Oh, okay.
and I have Caucasian friends, right? But it seemed like one of my friends, she asked me so many questions, like, "Are you trying to study me and know where my brain at and try to comprehend?" Because when you get to asking certain questions, then I had to break it to her, like, baby, we don't go around asking questions. If someone don't want to tell you anything, they're just gonna volunteer and tell you because they're comfortable having that discussion. So it's like I'm done talking to them because y'all done already studied us and took from us. So it's like I don't know. It's like I be feeling like all type of ways, if that makes any sense, because learning more about the history and everything, right? I still don't want to judge anyone because I'm not a judgmental person. With that being said, I feel you on what you're saying, Mr. Timothy. Like, I'm not about to keep on educating y'all, and y'all ain't doing nothing but taking our knowledge and using what I teach you against me.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that's real, Queen. Like it's yeah, like it very much so. If we look, like, well, that's a part of the reason why they don't want to teach Black African history in schools, because if we actually gained a level of curiosity into learning beyond just the things that they're willing to teach us in school, into ancient African history, we would see that there's been multiple times where we have taught them the things that we consider to be sacred knowledge and information kept behind closed doors. And then the moment that we started opening up those doors, being like, okay, well, I mean, you've been dedicated enough. Here you go. And give them little tidbits. They take all those tidbits right back to their civilizations. And then a couple centuries later, they come back to mass exterminate and to conquer. Like, so it's just every single time we have ever given them a little bit of a leeway or access point into our culture, it has absolutely led to our eventual destruction. So, yeah, no, you definitely shouldn't be telling any of them anything. I don't care if they are a family member. I don't care if they are a friend that you've known for years. I'm not going to sit there and start telling a YT person about like the things that I hold sacred in African history and African culture. I mean, like obviously there's certain levels of education that is like, I mean, they're going to listen to, they're going to pay attention to. These panels are open, but yeah, I'm not going to take an extended amount of time to try and tell them about things that pertain to us, because it literally is going to just lead to them saying, oh, you know what, you're right, all right, and then they're going to pass that same information to their next of kin, and that's going to get passed down, so on and so forth, and then eventually at some point there's going to be somebody that's going to use that information to attempt to unalive us. So
Facts. I agree. Thank you so much. That, you know what, brother, you just opened. I thank y'all for this panel. I thank you so much, because you know what? That was just an eye opener. You know what I mean? Because we have to be careful of the teaching that we put out here into the universe, because of what we get back in return. Because knowledge will get you unalive real quick.
Brother, click on enhance, like that is like a little stick, and then it should say stickers.
D figured it out.
Yeah, I had to start my live on my other page just to figure it out.
Thank you, sister.
That's crazy. Like, okay, so this, I just was saying this to my children, you guys. I'm a single mother. Five wonderful boys and one girl. So I was sitting here fussing, okay, at bills, because I fuss all the time anyway, okay? I'm a fusser, but I'm gonna get it done, you know. And I'm like, it don't make no sense. Why are we paying for water? Now, this is not off topic, but it's going to go back to a lot of things that we're talking about. Why are we paying for water?
Um,
Why are we paying for lights? Who invented the lights? You know what I mean? Like, why are we? I'm talking about we. You know who we talk? You know who I'm talking about? Why are we? Now, I understand why they should be paying for lights, but why are we paying for lights? You understand what I'm saying?
yep.
I'm speaking in codes, but it's kind of common sense. Of y'all know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Every
Why
single
are we
time
paying
traffic
for?
light.
Why are we paying for anything? Like, why are we? How y'all just take from us and make us pay for our inventions?
Yeah. Every single time a traffic light comes on, there should be a 5 cent commission going straight into the tax bracket that's specifically set aside just for Black African people.
Exactly.
But then they also don't teach us who made these inventions. And so we don't see ourselves in them. And we don't even know to be upset about this as a people. And then, you know what I'm saying? We're to the point where this has been just basically what me, brother brother Timothy, sister Tia, and
Wow,
D.
wow, wow. Where's the report button? Where is
What?
it? I'm going
You need
straight
to
to Twitter.
stop,
I'm going
Tia.
straight to Twitter. I'm just
I was
joking.
about to
I am
call
just
Timothy T, and then
joking.
I didn't realize your name was T.
I
So
am for the
I was
room.
like,
I
damn, she
am
probably gonna get
just
mad about that. But
joking. It's jokes.
I'm playing, but nah, yeah, like what we've been doing has been teaching black people, and we've all had conversations where we're surprised by how much black people don't know. Like, so we don't even know to look at that and say, wow, we made the lights. Like, we like the we like the light on the outside. They don't like that the outside light, 'cause they get cancer from that. But we made the inside lights, and they still make us pay. They will turn your lights off. But what's wild is they made a law to say that light bulbs can only last for so long. The original inventor of the light bulb, the brother that did that, um, Lewis Latimer, he had it's like he made the filament in between, made of granite so that it lights a certain way. Like he's the person that came up with that idea, and the original lights would last forever. Like they never go out. Like it turn on to this day. Like it's meant to last forever. Light bulbs have been intentionally made to blow out after a certain time because they said like they had the corporations that do this or whatever lobbied Congress. It made them pass a law. You could look it up. Light bulbs aren't really supposed to go out. It's in a controlled environment. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's devoid of air. So there's no like there's nothing to like erode it over time. It could literally just sit there and be a light. But yeah.
The same with shoes. I mean, we created the shoes, but we spending all this money on shoes, going to these companies, billionaire companies and everything, and we coming out well, we shouldn't even be paying for shoes. We created them.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, like, so when would our people wake up and start realizing, like, okay, we are the main ones who are, you might as well say, investing in the company because you study making them make money. Like, it's and it's like overwhelming. But then when you look back, like, we the main ones hurting each other over names of different things, items. We hurting each other, and it's not making no sense because they taking what we taught them against us, using everything against us. So when would the people wake up? When will the elders start teaching the youth going back? We need to go backwards, okay? Because moving forward is just horrible. So I think we need to go backwards. You know how some people say you can't live in the past? No, I think we need to go backwards. I think we just need to go backwards for a little bit and get the good ancestors, the good people that's alive, you know what I mean, that can teach the upcoming youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
I
mean, you're talking about a time when we have more community, where we're
yes,
more community oriented.
yes, brother, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, those days are over because churches, people don't even go to church no more.
I mean,
So,
but it's not all about church. Church is the people. See, we
but
got
no,
caught
no,
up
no,
in
you're right. But
we
church,
got caught up in that brainwash thinking that you gotta go to church and give all your money and hard working money to a corporation. You know what
and,
I
and,
mean?
and we never replaced that system within the community. We never replaced it with some sort of safe space. At the time that you're talking about, I'm saying pre-Loving versus Virginia, like church was the community center. It wasn't just for learning about Jesus, even though that's problematic and all that, but it was like where they would have gatherings. You know what I'm saying, about what they want to do as a community.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Now, okay. So okay. I got you. I got you. So what
Churches
you
were like
saying is
hospitals during the riots.
right.
They was like meeting places for some of the Panthers. Like churches was there was some radical churches. Yeah, I know one here in Dallas, or at least the one that I went to was kind of but they exist. But it's like back then everybody went to church, and you had the community in a place that wasn't about just entertainment, where they were organizing, and we never
Right.
replaced that. We never replaced it with nothing.
Yeah, because they took everything out, and this world is just so evil and cold. Like It's like we all against one another when actually we all supposed to be coming together.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I
Because
will
if we
say,
come
Queen.
together, then we could conquer a lot. But when we are divided, you just giving the enemy what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, one thing I will say, Queen, is that we are waking up. Like, you're definitely seeing a lot more people. Like, for example, the data points that are showing people that identify as Christian are dropping. So that's a good thing. It's also showing that people are buying books more. So that's, well, okay. I'll say that in certain areas of specific type of like a knowledge and information that they're looking for, you are seeing more people like expand in that a little bit more. Not even that long ago, there's literally a queen that I knew as a more so as like a personal friend through social media, but I always knew her as being that extreme Bible toting, like, hey, well, if we just give our life to Jesus, then everything will be okay. I'm like, all right, well, you can do that over there. But she actually, like, based off of some of the content that I had been posting and based off of her personal experiences with, uh, yeah, just based off of her personal experiences, I won't, completely say everything that she's been dealing with, but she's been questioning more. And that questioning has led to her now asking me questions. And I find that to be absolutely beautiful because it's like it's a clear example of like, hey, there's so many resources out here for us to hold on to. We're living in the age of information, so everything is basically free. They haven't managed to restrict everything. They try to, but because the internet is so vast and they don't have the ability to be able to restrict everything, um, yeah, like we're seeing a lot of things coming out. Information is transitioning back and forth very fast. So the things that they used to be able to sweep under the rug, they can't anymore. Like, imagine if we lived in the 1950s and, everything was, well, I believe that, well, okay, imagine if we lived in the 1700s and, we didn't have a working knowledge of how the European transatlantic slave trade was so brutal and barbaric until like almost a century later. We had an idea, because of course, obviously, we'd hear stories, but you definitely would see, or at least in my knowledge and understanding, you would see more of a direct trying to prevent people of European ancestry from gaining access to African spaces in later periods. But I mean, we were fighting back throughout the entire time. But once you start seeing more of an influx of people knowing the barbarism that was going on, yeah, that's when you start seeing more and more people just like, yeah, no, you're nah. Like, we about to fight you to the last man. And yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong in that, because yeah, that's what I just kind of noticed. But it's like more and more people were just less willing um, to even try to have conversations or dealings with Europeans when that knowledge was like fully available. So with knowledge does come power.
Glory boy, what's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Pronouns he, him. Big fan, by the way. I
How old are you?
guess I'm 19.
All right.
Yep. I guess my question would be, uh, what do you mean by benefit the black community
Mm.
in
I
terms
mean,
of like what are we talking about specifically?
like when you do something, um, the reasoning behind your choice is usually something that's a benefit. Like when you think critically about a choice that you're going to make, you'll do it if it's going to benefit you in some way. Not now, if you do something because you have to, that's not a choice where you're doing something that benefits you. But long story short, what would benefit the black community would be, things like um, um, economic empowerment, more access to resources for creating jobs in our communities, things that would benefit the community. Like, has it been a net positive? What have we gained?
I think that makes sense. I think my first initial thought is to be like yes, just because I start to think about segregation and how black people can be with white people and how that's wrong. But in terms of if it's holding us back now, I think that being with a white person can limit a black person to certain knowledge. And I also feel like white people just don't understand. They can attempt to understand the black experience, but you just have to be black to understand most of it. So I think it's more beneficial for um, us to date in our race.
Okay. Timothy. What he say, y'all? Why y'all acting like that?
Mhm. Oh no, no, I just they said the aggregation part, and TikTok likes to flag that word. So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, no, it's all good. So just one more time that last part, if you could just repeat it, because I was my bad, I got a notification.
Yeah, I just feel like as far as black people dating in our, I think it is more beneficial for us to date within our race because we understand things that white people can never understand as far as I think it's like even with textbook wise, you can attempt to, but you're never going to truly fully understand until you're just black at the end of the day because there's some experiences you're just not going to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree 1,000 with you because I don't understand in a school system how can they have a Caucasian male or woman teaching American history to black children. You know
Yeah.
that that right there, and all they talk about is Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. Like they was the only two icons in Black history. Like come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, like imagine if I'll try to use a Disney reference, I guess. Well, let's just talk in terms of superheroes. Imagine if the supervillain is teaching you that the hero has been the villain the entire time. And then all of a sudden, one day you gain a little bit more access to knowledge and information, or you get, separated from the supervillain somehow. And then the heroes, they're, keeping you strapped up, and then they start asking you questions. And then you start rattling off all these things that you heard from the supervillain. But then the heroes are like, bro, we don't do any of that. So it's like, there's, because we're living in the time period where easy access to information is on a global scale now. You could literally use your phone to tap into the World Wide Web, and tapping into the World Wide Web means that you now have access to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. You can go to their website, look up all their artifacts. Of course, some of that stuff they don't actually make public, but the stuff that they do make public is very much so there. You can go to, I think, PubMed, and they have a cache, like a whole, just thousands and thousands of research papers that have, been published within recent decades that corroborate everything that we're talking about. You can go to statista.com, and this is all just from you sitting on your bed on your phone, and you could basically gain access to all this knowledge and all this information, even from YouTube. They have college lectures fully available on YouTube right now. And because of all of that access to knowledge, we are seeing a lot of people waking up to it. But I definitely do think that it is our responsibility to try to get more of the youth involved in that too. Because, I mean, like, I'm going to keep it real with you, Glory. We need more and more of our young African family, such as yourself, to be engaged in these panels, to be engaged in these lives, to talk about these issues, to look into the research behind it. And a lot of these social media platforms will try to steer you in a direction of, hey, look at the coolest thing, look at the nicest thing, look at the most up to date thing. Here's a new dance. Hey, watch this girl shaking the camera. Watch this. Like they do all of that in order to distract you, so that
Thank
they can
you for
take
the
control of
gifts.
you. Oh yeah. Yeah, so they can take control of your mind. Like they don't want you to be a critical thinker. They don't want you to be educated as a black young man. They don't want any of that. That's the last thing that they want. They do not want people within the African family to grow up being educated. Because if you grow up being educated, that means that you can start asking questions. You can start having conversations about real liberation. You can start realizing and critically analyzing, um, the things that they try to do to us. And yeah, that doesn't benefit YT supremacy. That benefits black people.
I
And
want to say,
yeah,
if we need to recruit people like Lori, because 19 is an essential age. It's the prime age where you are someone that is still very effective in speaking to the youth. You need to join B1 Initiative, because we need you to help bring some of the youth in, and talk to us, and we can go back and forth on how we're going to elevate and change the dynamic. You are the key perspective, and you're somebody that you have all opportunity in the world to change a lot of things for black people, because you are at the pinnacle right now. Thank you, Black Smart. You're at the pinnacle right now of your life, and essentially you are what the future looks like for black people. And I think someone like you should join B1 Initiative, and you should bring your friends, because we need not only the youth, the people that are going to carry on what is being built, but also to understand how y'all learn and how y'all are receiving information, because that can help us in how we get these things out. It's a lot of history that's being ignored, neglected, and there's a lot of things that are currently happening that our youth does not understand. And so they think love is love, and they think that there's some level of equity that they've been given to society, and they haven't. So you're definitely the age range that we need to be talking to.
Facts, I agree. I mean, I think my generation is very oblivious when it comes to black history, and I don't think schools are doing enough to push black history. I mean, like Timothy said and everyone else, they just talk about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. That's it. That's the end of the story. And I feel like we have so much power that we don't even know how to use it because we've been so caged for so long. But I know for a fact we can change so much. We just need to come together and figure out how we can do that as a team.
We can't hear you, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Oh no, we heard you. Y'all, they couldn't hear me.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I know what we gotta do. We gotta start to love Africa and ourselves, and it's the wildest thing. Like how it's so simple, but it's so difficult because the more we know ourselves, more we're taught ourselves, the more we begin to love ourselves and see ourselves in everything, from the light bulbs to the water heater, or I mean, the heater or the air conditioning in your home. We start to see that we created all this stuff, and then with that knowledge, we'll also want to reconnect to the motherland, and that's where I think African Americans are needed the most. To be honest, I think that's where we're needed the most. Like I just heard that 50 Cent just got a new like film studio, and I think that's amazing. I'd hope that he uses it for his people. But you know what I'm saying? Like you hear about news going on with celebrities before you'll hear celebrities talk about what's going on the continent. So why
Because
are
they are puppet masters. They are puppets.
you see what I'm saying? Because why the loudest voices that we have as black people is in the black community in America. We we're the privileged ones, I'm sorry to say it to y'all. Some of y'all, oh man, I always wanted to be on the bottom rung so I can, say that, I'm not looking down on people when I say, um, for example, Americans, we have a certain way of speaking that can get us a job faster than somebody that's got like a Creole accent, or an African accent. Like that's just one small way where our voices to the oppressor matter a little bit more just because we sound a little bit more like them. Even if we got a country twang in the accent, they still know that's an American voice, and they'll trust you a little bit more, than if you came up to them sac passe and talking like what they would call Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? Like they would, as soon as they hear a Jamaican accent, they think Bob Marley, and you know, like stuff like that, they'll judge you. So we should be using that privilege to bring consciousness, bring awareness to what's going on in Africa. And we don't, which tells you, like sisters just said, they puppet masters, puppets on the string. So we got to do it ourselves. And I think as far as the young brothers, man, we got some young brothers in the B1 initiative. Should definitely tap the link in the B1 initiative. Yo, there you go. Timothy put it down there, but it's in my bio too, man. Join us. We be having meetings every Sunday. We just be organizing. Do you know what we're doing with Sankofapedia?
So, brother, I have a question. Just a good theory.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So back to what you were saying about the celebrities and everything, and I'm gonna sugarcoat. So y'all read between the lines. So let's just say that all of the real ones, okay, human ones, that's here and wealthy. I think my theory is, in my opinion, what can really happen is that we actually can conquer and get everything popping that needs to be done and go back to our own cities and land and all that stuff, if they start reaching out, go beyond and study, going to buy $50,000 watches, $1 million, the things that doesn't make sense when you walk outside and leave out your neighborhood and you go into another neighborhood and you see people with a for sign. I mean, I'll work for food, or I'm hungry, or you see kids and mothers out there starving and all that stuff. Like, come on now, like it's time to break the cycle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for real. Or if they scared, I'm just saying, if they scared to have their money tracked, why don't you just act like you just left it somewhere and then have somebody that dish it out to, people and help families and stuff like that. Come on, it's a way that they can go about doing some things, because if we trying to elevate our youth and stop the evil cycle that's been betrayed against Black folks, then it got to be started from somewhere. You know what I mean? Because why should us people that struggling day to day be the ones that's always reaching out, trying to help, when these people that unfortunately have the funds and everything to help, they just sitting back and then they want the clout from the people that's struggling themselves, but they still reaching out to help. You see what I'm saying?
Imagine this. Imagine like you walk into a room and it's you and a friend, and you walk into a room with your friend, and a man has one of those like dishes, like you go to a fine restaurant, they got like that dish where they can grab the handle and like open it up and show you like what's inside, and they open it and there's a baby there, and they tell you, if you want to be a billionaire right now, you just got to eat this baby.
Oh, baby, I ain't eating. I'm walking out.
Right now, someone that would eat the baby, would you want to be friends with that person?
No.
And do you think that person would have the conviction to help you? You know, like to them, they ate a baby and you didn't want to eat a baby. So now you suffer the consequences. Meanwhile, that baby was yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's sick, baby. I never even thought of it like that. That's
but
disgusting.
you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm trying to say is like, there's no ethical way to be a billionaire. That's not possible. They ate the baby. So
But I'm not trying
there's
to be a billion. I'm just saying, like, the people
no,
who,
no. I'm saying what you're saying is facts.
yeah.
It's facts. The reason it's not about to happen is because these people don't got no conscience. Like
That's
there's
what I'm
only
talking about.
one
The
way.
ones that's real, not the fake ones. The ones that's
Yeah.
real, like, still got one.
You
Still got
mean
a soul. Those that still got a soul
they
and
ain't got no
still.
They're
soul?
not
You don't got no soul.
billionaires.
You ate a baby.
That's the point. They don't have the money. They're not in that position because they wouldn't do eating the baby in that scenario.
Oh, D, that's disgusting, y'all.
No, but okay. So you're thinking of the baby, but in reality, I've said this before. I think that on every spectrum, when we look at Black people that have some level of money, like real money that can affect change, they're allowed to do just enough. Like you can look at Beyonce and Jay-Z and you'll see that, oh, in Houston, they've built up homes and they've done these little things. It's just enough. It won't be a full flip that changes something because at the end of the day, somebody's still pulling all these people's strings. And I think we're the only ones that's fool enough to think, oh, they can help, they can change. If they could, they would. If they wanted to, they would. Like it's a dynamic where waiting for someone that sits in a limelight or sits in a level where they're not affected or touched by these things is crazy because they're not living in it, so they don't really have to care. They don't have to care.
Exactly. Like,
I understand. That's
example,
crazy, though,
if
but
you
I
were all of a
understand.
sudden, like if you were all of a sudden to see Beyonce donate to Grandmaster Jay, and Grandmaster Jay, he is the leader of the largest black militia in the entirety of the United States. And they recently, well, not recent, but they tried to charge him with 27 years for aiming his pew pew up at a building top because he saw a bunch of people that were suspicious standing up there looking over his people in his like they were doing a armed like pretty much like protest and with his militia. And now he has military experience, and I don't have military experience, but from the brothers and sisters that I've heard that do have military experience, one of the critical things that you got to pay attention to is people on the rooftops and people from the windows. So he saw suspicious people on the rooftops, aimed his pew pew up there because he had a flashlight on the end of it. He claimed that it was didn't have any pew pews in it. So he aimed it up there, and it turned out to be, I think, federal agents and police officers. So he just aimed it back down, and they tried to give him 27 years for that. They knocked off the 20, but they gave him 7 years. And his mother recently just passed away. And the brother is currently locked up. Of course, obviously on a ridiculous charge because they just wanted to get him locked away because he's the leader of the largest black militia, and for them, that's like the biggest threat. Like, oh, the leader of the largest black militia, they have an ability to defend themselves from our atrocities committed against them. Oh, that's violence. Like, nah. So, like if Beyonce, for example, was to donate to a person like that, oh, the like as soon as that became public, her YT viewership would drop almost overnight.
Not to be funny, Mr. T at the bottom. I'm not talking about Beyonce. I said a live human.
Wait, who? You say what?
She talking
A
about
conscious human
Oh,
with
okay.
money. I
ain't
wasn't
no
talking about
conscious people with money. That's the oxymoron of what you're saying. Ain't no
like
con- That's like saying a melanated snow bunny.
no,
Like
like okay, prime example, like Boosie or someone like that. You know what I mean?
he ain't conscious.
You don't think that he have a conscience?
No.
Not one that cares about anybody outside of himself or his kids.
Exactly. He only care about himself. That's how you eat a baby. You gotta only think for yourself. Nobody that participates in
Oh my
capitalism to
goodness.
thrive is going to have the consciousness to do for beyond themselves for an entire community of people that in their eyes was unwilling to do what they had to do to get that money. They're always going to look at like everybody else kind of like, y'all don't work hard enough, y'all not like me, like I'm special, I'm different.
So how
Meanwhile,
can we change that narrative, y'all? How can as people
Through education, Queen. Through education, educating ourselves out of the miseducation is the way in which we will get Black African consciousness back to the way in which it needs to be, where we're actually embracing ideologies like Ubuntu, which is I am because you are. We're embracing ideologies like Pan Africanism, which is the unification of Black African people across the globe. We're embracing ideologies where we are having a positive association with our Blackness, a positive association with our Africanity. We have to. That's where we're at right now. Right now, we are still in the brainwashed stage. A lot of us are waking up because we're in the age of information. Information has never before in all of human history been this easy to access ever. So yeah, so I can literally be on TikTok and I can see a brother over in Nigeria and what he's doing on his live right now if I wanted to. Like that is a level of power that and access to information that we've never had before. Like even in ancient times when we controlled our own destinies, we would very much so try to get information out there to people, but we would safeguard the information that was sacred. But in getting that information out to people, you would have to write it down. You'd have rooms full of scribes that would retype or rewrite down manually all the stuff from what we were learning, and then they would then hand that out to everybody in the empire, the kingdom, and so on and so forth. That was the way information passed. Or they would have a big proclamation and like, hey, everybody in the kingdom, come here. But now I can literally be in the comfort of my living room and then find out all the knowledge and information from brothers and
yes,
sisters.
sir. I agree. Yes, sir. Listen, I found out so much knowledge off of TikTok and I'm 41 years old. Like I had to slap myself in the face like, oh my goodness.
mm-hmm.
Of just knowledge that was hidden. Like, you know what I mean? Like made me go out and go to the library and get different books on it because I didn't even know that it was books on the stuff that I need to know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
Have you read Chancellor Williams?
Oh, ooh.
Juicy.
Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Have you read Chancellor Williams?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. That's a good book to start with.
Okay, let me write that down.
Dr. Chancellor Williams. It's called The Destruction of Black Civilization.
Chance the Williams.
No, Chancellor, like CHANCE, Chance.
Uh-huh.
LLOR at the end.
Okay.
So Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of Black Civilization is that's where my self-love journey kind of began. Like it's kind of wild. Like I didn't even understand self-love until I started reading more about that. And that's what made me have a paradigm shift. Like not self-love, like self-care. I mean, like, like, oh snap, this is who I am, this is where I come from. Like that book, yeah, Timothy got it right there. Cause he got the full title, yeah. Great Issues of a Race from 4500 BC to 2000 AD. Even though it was written in like the 70s.
That's a good
I think it was
thing
written in
that
the
you
60s.
said. Like
Yeah. I think
learned
it was written
about
in the 60s.
self-love, like, because a lot of people don't even know what self-love is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me it was self-love. Someone else might see it a different way. But for me it was learning that what we're going through now, we've been going through for like a long time. Before 400 years. and it kind of puts into context what created this whole tension between Europeans and Africans, and it just tells you the story. But yeah.
So I want to say this real quick. Me and my brother the other day we were talking about financial literacy, and we were breaking down how the Black community really a lot of people do not understand like financial literacy, planning, or money for that matter. And
Yeah.
so in the midst of that conversation, I said that we need to target our youth already. So when that brought a couple. So when we were having this conversation, one of the things I think that we miss is that when you ask what can we do, we need to start talking to our youth. And I told my brother when it comes to young Black men, he needs to be more involved in how he's talking to these young boys, particularly these young boys that are playing sports. If we're gonna prepare you to go somewhere in the future, let's also prepare you for how you should be looking back at your community and how now you're in a position where you could actually affect a change that's affecting your community. Because a lot of the times these boys get in positions where they get money and they blow it away because no one has taught them financial literacy. Nobody said in the first 3 years you should be doing this with your money, so that if you break your knee, if anything physically is happening to you, you are now put in a certain level where you can conveniently take that loss of that job opportunity and go to the next level with something
Yeah.
else. But we need to be talking to our youth in regards to financial literacy, understanding how society looks and how they pair. Now, I said this to Tia yesterday and she was laughing, but it's something I noticed about this PWI is that the way that they do their events, they do it with the intent to make people pair up and date for marriage. That their theory is ring before spring. You have to understand this is a business agreement. It's not just you're dating for love or it feels good. A lot of these kids and their families are pairing, and believe me, the
I
families are pushing these
understand,
kids
Queen,
together.
and not to
Yeah.
cut,
What you
yes,
say?
but not to cut you off because I'll be losing thought real quick, Queen. Um, you
Yeah.
should teach the youth about financial literacy, baby. I need to be taught about financial literacy, honey. I need to be taught for I could teach them. Like baby, I'm not ashamed to say certain things I be knowing and certain things I don't be knowing. And so I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Yep, that marriage certificate is absolutely a contract. Because if there was anything at all, like the second that you sign that paperwork, and like the second that's all taken care, the ceremony crap, that's all just the ceremony. But the moment you sign that paperwork and they have it on file, immediately whomever it is that you are tying or engaging in that contract with now has legal ability to be able to basically essentially do whatever they want to you, um, as your spouse, like as your wife or as your husband.
So it's
So
not a good thing to get married.
Wait, hold on.
no,
You
it's
said
it's
they could
definitely a good
do.
it's definitely a good thing to get married for sure. My bad, King. Did I jump over you?
No, I'm trying to understand. You said they can legally do anything to you,
Well,
or
not
what you
not
mean?
like
Like,
legally do anything, but there's a lot of like legal things that you have the ability to do the second that you sign that paperwork and you're now considered someone's wife or husband. And there's certain legal protections depending on what it is that, like, I don't know all of them, but I definitely have seen some folks talk about like, oh well, she gets the house and I get the this and I get the, and they're like, but didn't you pay for that house? Like, yeah, but like, so it's um, but yeah. So it's just the second that you engage in that contract, that automatically puts you in a position where you got to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that your partner is like down for you. And quite frankly, there has never been in all of Black African history a partner to Black men and a partner to Black women than each other. Like there has never been a single level of loyalty that has ever been expressed outside of the Black community for Black people. Like it's always been internal. That's where that loyalty has always been. It's always been the primary focus. Yeah. So I definitely do agree with marriages. Absolutely, Queen. I do. But like as Black people, it is our responsibility to only engage in those marriage contracts with other Black people.
Oh,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because I got interracial marriages in my family, and a lot of people just to be, and I'm not trying to down talk anyone, but a lot of the black men get with Caucasian women just because they want their kids to have good hair. And that is just so simple minded to me, you know.
Hmm. And I'll tell you, Queen, like I mean, like when you get a chance, look at my profile, and then you'll see the background that I'm talking from. But yeah, like they spew those nonsensical ideologies because, well, essentially, YT people want their genetic survival to be secured, and they know based off of their own research that they can't survive without black people's genetics. They know this. And that's why they're trying everything under the sun to try and like darken their own skin without having to involve black people in that. But you're seeing other YT people being like, okay, they're not figuring out the science fast enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and procreate with black people. I fetishize them anyway, so let me just go ahead and go along with my secret weird ass desires. So, like, yeah, that's what they do, Queen. It's
Yeah, because my Caucasian friend, and I'm not judging her, but she said she only date black men because of the Johnson's parts,
You're not so
and but she don't like
you're not so funny.
attitudes and all that stuff. And I just listen to her, like, but she want to wear our hair, she want to get the braids because I do hair. No,
I feel like that's an insult to black people coming from you. That you disrespecting your own ancestors if you telling me you put braids in that lady hair. Because
yes, I did. I didn't know, baby. Listen, don't judge me. Listen, I didn't.
No, listen what I'm saying. There are black kids going to school right now that are getting suspended and kicked out of school. And you can look up any of these cases, and we talk about Crown Act. Why are you allowing someone to quote unquote appreciate your culture when you can't even appreciate and wear it every day? Your children are being demonized for their hair when they go to jobs, when they go to school, but you are putting that in her hair and letting her feel comfortable celebrating and wearing your culture when you can't even do so. And then for her to be around you, she's only want to be around you for the proximity of black men. I say this to all black women when they have YT friends that are women, especially those that don't date YT men. I'd be like, okay, what do you think the proximity of you does? It makes her feel comfortable to disrespect our culture. It makes her feel comfortable to be around and get access to your community of men. And the worst part about it is she feels comfortable because you're doing so and you're allowing it. And the thing about it is if she respected you and considered you a friend, she would never walk over in your culture and wear it as a costume because they understand boundaries. And I have white friends and they know the boundaries within me. You don't need to wear my hair for what? It's not your culture. You don't know nothing about it. And for two, you don't need to be dating my community of men because what? We go through enough hardship. You don't understand what it is to have to deal with a brother or his issues that come along with him. So it is understanding that you never created boundaries for this person, and now she feels comfortable putting you on like a costume. And she gets to take you off when it's convenient for her to get a job, get some money, or act as if she is someone else. That is a very dangerous game you playing with that person because you are making her feel comfortable to disrespect your culture. And when a black person that's conscious tells her that she's out of pocket, she's going to weaponize you against black people.
That's deep. Thank you for that knowledge.
just like
I never
Ariel
looked at
said.
it like that, because I am myself, and it's majority of Caucasians down here, like I said, and that's all I see is I call them gray babies, mixed couple. That's all I seen when I moved down here, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But trying to be cool with my same race, they was something different. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but very mean and evil and stuff. And then the Caucasian women was more friendlier and nicer. So I don't know
Well,
how, you know what I mean?
you
I'm just
gotta.
being honest.
There's reasons for that, and it has nothing to do with black people. Like that mentality and that ideology of having like a certain level of aggression towards each other, that doesn't come from black people just being in each other's vicinities with nobody interfering. That comes from YT people interfering in black communities. That's where that comes from. Like, then also, like, we got to understand that there is a lot of trauma that has very much so been perpetuated from the European transatlantic slave trade. That trauma didn't get fixed. It didn't get addressed. Nobody, there is no therapist on the planet outside of Dr. Umar Johnson that I can think of that is unapologetically Pan-African and that could even remotely come close to addressing these issues. I'm sure that there's probably Pan-Africanist psychologists that are on the African continent, for sure.
No,
And I'm
I'm in
not.
Kentucky, love.
Mhm. You said what, Queen?
Someone asked in the comments is I'm in Oakland, Oklahoma. I'm in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Even the way you're okay with her demonizing, fetishizing your own community of men. Like, that's your brothers, uncles, and cousins that she's saying she'll watch somebody put them in a tree, but the only thing that she likes about them is their sexual organs. That speaks volumes. And if you go read the book, They Were Her Property, you'll see how their sexual organs were utilized for their benefit while still unaliving them and treating them like they were not human. That's a scary game you playing with that person, because that person is very
I'm
dangerous.
not playing no games with nobody.
No,
I'm just
she's playing games with you.
Yeah, she's using you to get close as she can to black culture. Like that's like she wants to be the cool YT person. She wants to be the person, and I guarantee you that she probably goes into YT spaces and she automatically starts talking about how, oh, see, I got a black friend, so therefore I can't be racist. Like that. Like,
but I met her through a black person, and listen, y'all, I met her through a black
Of
person.
course you
She was
did.
already with a black man, so me just coming in like, okay, well, I guess okay, this is what's going on down here. Like I said in the
Right?
beginning, y'all.
You single though, right? Or do you have a
Yes,
black?
ma'am, I am
But
by
she has a
choice.
black. But she got black man on her arm, no black man on your arm.
What that mean?
A hell of a lot, because that's
What do
the
you mean? Talk to me. Come on now, cause I
reason
could
why she
take it.
in your
Come on
community.
now, it's elevation.
That's the whole reason she learning to steal your culture, to mimic you, because she taking your pairing, your partnering. So when I spoke about financial literacy, you understand that any other community of people, they go out and they elevate together, because essentially the thriving comes in a pair. Like, I watched my parents be able to thrive and to do things that other family members could not do because they paired and partnered financially. And that is a building block that we need essentially. So you got black women out here having children and don't have no support, no man balancing it. And you have single black men out here that don't have no mental support, no kind of guidance or assistance when it comes to the funds or how they delegate them. In the same way that well, I won't say everybody's, but the way my parents paired, it financially set my mother up in a position where when my father passed, she's doing well, and she's not having to stress over things. It set us up. I remember being 16 and already having a car. I was driving. I was taking care of my little cousins and going to work. When we talk about these things, we have to understand that the pairing isn't just coming in a regard of, like I said, love. It's coming in how we are able to build with each other and for each other and for our children, and the children coming behind it. My parents own property and land that they can generationally pass down because they build together. But you're allowing this YT woman to sit here and mimic you. And like I said, she got a black man on her arm, no black man on your arm. You over there single, but you making her look good for your men.
yep. And Queen, like you,
Well,
like
I ain't never looked at it like that because half the men that she got, they ain't for me, baby. They ain't for me.
Ah, of course
So,
not. Yeah, no. The brothers that end up with them is not for sisters.
right, because evidently
Yeah,
they
they
like to do
wouldn't have
that
ended up
weird
over there.
stuff. So they ain't for me, baby.
No, yeah.
I
But
stay in my
but
lane, but
that
I don't judge. But I take the knowledge too that you saying,
yeah, no, I
sister.
don't think
Thank
she
you.
was saying it to that effect. What she's saying is the reason that she's doing it is to gain proximity to black men, and then she's also adding to the problem in our community where we don't have enough sisters married. That speaks to Loving versus Virginia. So I mean, if you want to go down this line of reasoning, there's also something that Dr. Francis Cress Wilson says that I'll bring up if we talk in the Discord, but I think I'm gonna get in trouble if I say it here. But
So y'all feel that way about Caucasians wearing dreads too, these fake dreads and stuff too?
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Listen, sister. You got Muslim friends?
I don't be knowing what folks is. I told you I don't go and judge folks. You know, I
I
don't.
understand, but you don't got Muslim friends that wear the hijab, like they wear the cloth around their head.
Um,
No,
I don't
I
know.
don't know what they got in Kentucky, to be honest.
Is it judging, or is there having boundaries and you're not comfortable with setting a boundary for somebody else because you don't want to step on no toes or you just want to make your money? Like there's a difference. Because people can call me judgy. I don't care. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. When a white woman walks up and she has braids in her hair, I walk up to her and be like, what tribe you part of? Because you have to consciously wonder, how do you get to comfortably wear something that, like I said, in 2024, black boy right now in Houston, Texas, is being suspended from school and almost being denied access to graduate, because that's the whole point of suspending him, even though he has followed every
Mhm.
rule and policy, but they keep suspending him and kicking him out of the classroom based on his locks. And there are YT
And
kids
you see
walking
what I'm
around with
saying?
bigger locks. Like,
Right.
and they get to do so without any form of
So
judgment. But I
you
got
saying that they are basically manipulating our culture?
She's flaunting her privilege in your face, just flaunting it. Like,
Yep.
look at this. Our marriage statistics. We get married. You know, we.
There's so much of that down here,
I can put
y'all. I moved from Detroit down here, so I ain't know it was gonna be cut like this, but mm.
Well,
Hmm.
you know, that's because no one taught us when we was young to look at them through the right lens, because they're the ones that taught us when we was young. And that's the thing. So, you know, back to what we were saying before, like we need we need teachers in our community that look like us, like we learning from them.
And I'm a person that speak my mind, so now I'm about to address these braids with baby girl and don't care how her feelings hurt. Oh wait,
Oh no, that's going to, yeah.
see this result.
To be honest, that person's probably
too far
like,
gone.
yeah, too far gone for you. Even if they wasn't, they wouldn't, you know, show humanity, but it would at least,
I
yeah.
tell you this: if you want to address it, be knowledgeable in regards of how you're addressing it.
I
If
wouldn't address it. I'd leave it the hell alone and know what the hell is up.
See, I would eat
Okay,
her up though, brother. I ain't gonna lie. I
okay,
would eat her
so
up.
But
like,
you, oh wait,
say
hold
for
on,
instance,
D,
no, but I need y'all
you in
opinion, y'all.
Kentucky,
Listen,
but you in Kentucky, and I don't know what happened in Kentucky. I
Yeah.
don't want to advise somebody to stand up for their rights in Kentucky.
Yeah, because there might be a
Why he's saying
different
that,
like.
right, Juicy? You know why he's saying that, right?
yeah,
You know where you at. I hope.
right,
Because there's
right.
like, if you were like, if, for example, if you were in Atlanta, Georgia, that'd be a different conversation because you'd have a whole bunch of black people right behind you, right in your corner, telling you and telling that YT woman, hey, nah, like that's, well, I mean, not telling you, but telling that YT woman, like, hey, listen, the queen here is speaking facts. You need to stop that nonsense, and it would just be a different experience. But because you in Kentucky, that means that more than likely there's going to be more YT individuals there, and obviously
They're gonna
they
say it's
operate based off of
discrimination.
whatever way they want to operate, and like they're going to defend their YT supremacist nonsense tooth and nail, and this is why it's so important to have our African family in predominantly black spaces. Psychologist Dr. Rita Walker talks about that. She moved her whole family to a predominantly black community specifically for that reason. It's more community, more protection, more positive associations with your Africanity. Like literally right down the street from where I live in a predominantly black community, I'm not going to say where, there is about 3 different murals that are within walking distance from my front doorstep.
Baby,
So,
I moved from all black community where there was liquor stores on every corner right next to the churches, and it was bad for me being a single mother raising black boys, saying that I am not living against society of being a gangster and all that stuff, which is a lot of that in the family. So I moved away for a reason. So my children here, not per se, but they get the best education, even though it's some BS. Okay, that's
yeah,
another
but see,
scenario.
Queen, that's the common misconception.
But we don't
Us
speak to
moving
that.
out of predominantly black communities is not beneficial for us. There is literally a lot of experts that actually have clarified and they've told us very clearly based off of their decades and quite frankly, yeah, decades of research, that psychologically that damages black people more because if you're living in predominantly YT spaces, then it has a psychological it has a negative psychological impact on black people, especially with black boys, because
Don't
they're going to
blame it
be
on the government. Blame it on the G folks. You know, I ain't gonna say their name. Blame it on the G folks. Cause where I'm from, baby, they closed down every public schools. I mean, if you look it up, they don't have any schools open. No recreation centers. No
Wow.
nothing. They just got rid of everything. So it was like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that means that you have to put it in your mind. Like, what do you want for your children? Do you want this type of lifestyle or this type of lifestyle? You know what I mean? So that's where I was at.
I
well,
was
there's
gonna
positive psychological associations with being around your community. So
Yeah,
that literally would benefit him and it'll benefit your little ones a lot more by being in predominantly black spaces because having a positive association with their Africanity it goes hand in hand with them being around the black community. And also that helps them. Dr. Rita Walker literally said that black people having a positive sense with spirituality as well as having a positive association with their blackness quite literally makes them less likely to self unalive. But the individuals that are in predominantly YT spaces, they inadvertently, because they're around so many YT children, they're trying to emulate YT culture, but that will never fit well with them because they are not and will never be YT. But then you're going to see them grow up to be of age trying to assimilate into YT culture because they spent the majority of their raising and upbringing in YT spaces. It's not, it sounds like it's, oh, well, I mean, the schools are better and the neighborhood seems safer and all this other stuff. It is not safer for black people. It might be safer and better for YT folks, but being around YT folks is like willingly going into a lion's den just because the lion's den looks a little bit nicer than outside of the lion's den walking around the zoo. So it's like,
Got you. I understand what you're saying 100. Trust me, I got my guard up on that. I don't trust nothing. No type of sides. For real, because of the way that the world going on, because you got your own kind going against you. You know what I mean? And then you got the other side going against you too. You feel me? So I have my guard up on both sides, and we do live in a mixed community
can
where
you
there's all
imagine,
different cultures.
y'all imagine being raised by like as a black boy, right? That will one day be a man. Can you imagine being raised by a woman that believes black men have, well, you know what I'm saying? The tallywhacker fetish, you know that,
What you mean?
you
you
know
get
what
the
I'm
video
saying?
I sent you, brother?
Can you imagine somebody that fetishizes black men raising a black boy? What's that?
I don't know if I sent you the video. I sent it to Tia. Timothy, I think, seen it too. Where the little YT girl sitting there and they was asking her if she like black people. She's like she had no problem with them. They was okay by her, but her family didn't like them. So they go on. The black dude go on and on asking all these questions, and basically they were saying how like they would harm black men, right? Like the family, she got somebody in the background like we don't deal with them and this, that, and third. But then he said, "But do you like black men though?" And she was like, "I like what's in their pants."
Mm.
She was 15. And this is something recent. So it speaks volumes to how they see black people. But we sitting here playing games, like
Yeah.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, you know what? He got what he deserved with that being fully public and fully everybody seeing that shit because at the end of the day it's like even at young ages they still are like the primary belief is, oh, black people got big appendages, oh, black people are physically fit, or oh, black people have like, are they're good in sports. It's always something to do with a beast of burden kind of mentality. And now, although, yes, absolutely, research does show that the demographic with the largest male members absolutely are Africans. But the
True.
yes,
they
but
got
the
switchy
issue,
pickles.
yeah, well, but the issue is that that's the only demographic that they're looking at. Technically speaking, black people also based off of the research behind melanin, are the most intelligent. And also, Black people are the most creative. Black people also have the better eyesight. Black people also have faster muscle twitch responses, I believe. Black people also have a greater connection to the spiritual because of our pineal glands being decalcified. Pineal gland is a gland of the brain that is responsible for your perception of reality, and it also produces the chemicals that make you tired, and also produces the chemicals that make you like wake up. So that's why you see like a lot of people, especially YT people, so clueless and oblivious when they're walking through grocery stores, or sometimes you'll see some folk with like a really glazed look over their face, as if they're not really there. And the reason partially for that is high amounts of fluoride in the food and processed foods, water, things like that, calcifies the pineal gland. And when that calcification of the pineal gland happens, your perception of reality gets all jacked up. So,
All
yeah.
right.
Yes.
Hold on, y'all. We got some new people up here. Appreciate you, brother Timothy. I just learned something new. Just Amber, it's your turn. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
My name's Amber. I'm 43. YT, she, her.
All right, talk to us.
I was going to actually kind of piggyback on what I think Dee and Timothy were saying earlier. As far as what the person that you were talking about, Juicy, I'm sorry, did you say that was like a family friend or like a relative?
No, baby, just someone that I just met down here, just meeting people in general.
Oh, okay.
I do hair, and she wanted the certain hairstyle, and I did it.
That's the thing. That's like saying a lion and a gazelle could be friends in the context of Black oppression for 400 years, and white Europeans being the reason for that. And it existing to this day. In a place with no justice, there can be no peace, right? So we still don't have justice for 400 years of oppression. So we definitely don't have peace. So how can there be true friendship in a place with no peace? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you be friends with your boss? Like, that's a sad way to look at it, but the way that society is set up currently, it's been that way for a long time. When someone has that much privilege, they're not being a friend, they're being a colonizer. When they start taking your culture and donning it themselves, that's what colonizers do. So, it's unfortunate to some that, call white people their friend, but y'all ain't really friends. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. has a book about this, the Counter Racist Code by Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. But anyway, I was just saying that to Juicy because I wanted to say that before. Like, you keep calling her your friend, but really think about what that means in a hostile environment, that you have a friend that is benefiting from that hostility.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'll put it to you this way: right up the street, a neighbor feeds the cats and the rats, and they are not Black. So let me make that very clear. So they feed both. And the problem, obviously, is that anytime that I walk past that space, I'll see the cats running around. And at one point, I used to see the rats also congregating towards that space. And it's like an issue that even vermin control has been like through here because of that specific people. And so you will, what do you say, family?
We're just gonna let the other guests speak.
Oh, my bad.
I just wanted to say that to Juicy before we moved on, because I've been thinking that the whole time. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s sister, his book, The Counter Racist Code, Check that out. Compensatory counter racist code. Go ahead, just Amber. You were saying, were you about to say something to her?
Well, I was going to say that. So, because I was pretty much in agreement, especially with what Dee was saying earlier. So, as a YT woman, seeing the YT women I have come across and experienced that primarily date or only date black men often make it their entire personality. And so and I think a lot of that is preconceived notions from stereotypes, like you guys were mentioning. And so then those are often the women who start appropriating the language, the hairstyles, because of that proximity to blackness. And it feels, when I see other YT women that do those things, it's very disingenuous. So, yeah, I don't even associate with white, and it's not because that they're with black men. I don't associate with YT women like that because I know that they're disingenuous.
Are you a racist?
Am I a racist
Yeah.
against my own people or just in general? Because I'm talking pretty negatively against my own people.
Um, I don't think that's how racism works.
Negative though, like is that a real reality where every other group of people has boundaries that are has to be respected, and you know certain lines you wouldn't cross.
Right.
So in society, do you think you're racist? Like, do you, if you understand what racism is, do you think you're someone that, even if you don't feel like it's something you openly participate in, that you are a part of?
I would have to say, while I don't feel that I am, I do have people around me that are racist.
So what that make you? That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I get it. No, it's definitely it would definitely at the very.
the
Uh,
whole thing exists, right? So understanding that that's something that is benefiting you and done on your behalf.
Good question. What is racism? Can you break that down to me?
Um,
Hold on, let him finish.
yeah, hold on. So
mhm, mhm,
And there are racists that assist that system. But there go brother, he back. Go ahead, brother.
mhm.
my phone died. I forgot what I was saying now. We was talking about racism. She wanted to know the definition. Did y'all give it to her?
Oh
Grandma?
no, I didn't go over the definition of racism. I kind of broke down to just Amber, like how that inherently she could be racist.
Well,
I
yeah.
guess, I
So
guess
something that's done on your behalf, like something that is they do for you that do you do benefit from, right? Like, would you say you have no complicity in that complicity? You know what you're someone that isn't a part of that process. Like, yeah, are you a racist?
like you mean like I would say at the very least I would be an accomplice, in a sense that there's oftentimes situations, whether it be friends or family, that make comments, and I often will ignore the comment or not engage
All
instead
right,
of saying
all right.
something.
I got one last question.
Yeah.
Here we go to the next guest. So, damn, I just forgot my question. Um, what do you talk about when you're around black people?
Mm,
Like, do you tell black people what your racist family tells you? Like, you hear them say things. Do you go back to black people and tell them that?
no.
Hmm. Why do you think that is?
Well, most of the black people that I'm around are usually at work. So it's not really a conversation that I bring up at work.
Hmm. Why? Okay. Do you believe that there's racism at work?
Yes, I do.
Hmm. So, some to some degree, do you think shielding yourself from that, which would hold you accountable as well, is something that's counter racist? Is that you being an accomplice?
By not speaking up when I see or hear things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can admit that.
I was dozing a little bit. What?
Listen. All right. Thanks. Just let me go to the next guest.
Okay.
Um, Danny, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I don't think they think. Oh, she left.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Um,
I used when you was gone, brother, the AA. So it's like admission, right? And a reality for anyone that is actually walking through society that is racist. Like this environment is racist. I think the worst thing about it is people not acknowledging the part they play in the system, right? So racism is a system. Racist is assisting the system at play. And I think with a lot of YT people, the first thing that they're actually changing something, whether it be how you talk to your kids or how you move forward in society, is realizing that you should be more anti-racist because society already deems you as a racist. You're inherently so. You walk into this system that you benefit off of the backs of others being oppressed that are minority. And then when you look at how everything is set up, it's for the benefit of you. There's not too much set up. Well, there's nothing really set up that would benefit black people in a way and how they move in society. If anything, there's more hurdles to be jumped just showing up black. So it's very much like an AA thing where you have to admit, hey, in society, I am racist because black people are anti-black. Like the way that society has taught us to hate ourselves is a real thing. And every day I have to be intentional about how I move or how I teach my child how to love her blackness. It's a real thing. So the best at best you can try to not only acknowledge that yes, I am racist, but I am trying to be anti-racist. That's the only way we're gonna change anything in society.
well, that's the only thing. Yeah. Anti-racism, yeah. That's the way y'all gonna change something in society.
So I have a question for Queen D. Um, so do you think black people could be friends with white peoples or no?
Why you ask me that?
Because you're very knowledgeable in certain things.
Brother gave you a whole definition earlier, though. Like,
I'm just saying, like, so, like, there's a point in time that people could change, and not the narrative of their ancestors, but themselves, if that makes any sense. That they don't follow the roots of their ancestors.
I'm gonna say this: can no YT person be friend or family that would think they can wear my culture, emulate me, download an accent just because of proximity or penetration? And I don't particularly try to be friends with anyone that thinks because they are in a relationship with a black person, you can't humanize me by pairing yourself with black people. My proximity should not be when you start to emulate something like me. Conversations should not reflect AAVE. You don't change when you are associating yourself with me or with what you think black people are. So I think in these situations, particularly the one you described, that's not a friend. That's a parasite that you're almost allowing to attach themselves to you. And I don't think that, and I say this to
Well,
watch
I
people.
apologize for using that friend word because
No,
you
no, I
are
mean you
a
can
hair
use
client
no, no,
associate
no.
that I
Listen,
met through somebody.
you can use whatever word you choose, but I am saying like no one can call themselves my friend that would not respect the boundaries of my people. And I think Brother Legend said it best when he said, you know, you're in the midst of being oppressed and yet you're ready to hold hands. How you gonna hold my hand when you don't even want to free me? You just want me to go along for your comfortability. And that's what that person is doing. She's more worried about you making sure that you're making sure she's comfortable. You need to make sure I'm comfortable because in any regard, you would say, well, why do you want your hair braided? If you're a true hairstylist, and this is, I'm not being funny.
I did ask that. I
Listen,
did.
but think about it. If you're a true hairstylist, and I'm not a hairstylist, I'm an esthetician. I do skin. If you're a true hairstylist, you know that YT people's hair grows straight down. That means that the sebum gland, that their any oil goes straight down to the ends of their cuticle of their hair. If you put something on their hair like weave or braids, it's a weight. Now you're pulling at their hair. That becomes a tug. That means I am pulling your hair where it is thinning you. It can cause alopecia. When our hair grows to the sun, naturally, if we are pulling our hair, it is balancing our heads. It is not harming our hair. Therefore, it's protecting in so many different ways. But if a true hairstylist, when a person that is not black or does not have a certain curl pattern comes to you, you would be like, this is damaging to your hair. So why are you finding yourself in a position wanting to mimic something that is not your culture? It is not something you're used to. It is something that will harm your hair. Like it's boundaries, and like people feel entitled
Well,
to black
to
people.
answer your question, I did ask her that question, like, why do you want these braids? And her response was, because I'm going on a cruise and I don't want to have to keep on shampooing and conditioning my hair. So I just want this to last where I don't have to do my hair. And I like the way the braids look on you, so, and I like the way the braids look on different people, so it's not a cultural thing. I just like the braids. So I was like,
It
Her
is
okay.
a
sebum
cultural
gland
thing
with
though.
oil is too heavy. Like they constantly have to wash their hair because of how oil goes down their hair shaft. So that's that. She's full of crap.
I got mad pictures of like African art, but yeah, our hair defies gravity, and they replaced that for something flat and held down by gravity. I think that's just funny. We got another guest up here, y'all. Life or death? What's going on? That is just, I shouldn't say that name. Life or unalive?
That picture is cold.
Brother.
Oh, you
Nothing much at
breaking
all,
up?
man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, give us your age, race, and
Oh
pronouns.
yeah. Oh man. I ain't really got no pronouns. I'm 42. I'm black. I'm a man.
All right, talk to us.
No, but I don't think that it moves the conversation forward when we keep having these meaningless discussions, right? Because it's a lot of things we could be talking about besides 4-sheet hair and all these conspiracies, when we have actual evidence that points to things that have happened amongst our people, right? We could be focused on so much and so less at the same time. It amazes me in how many directions we are with Hebrews, Africans, Moors, Indians. It amazes me how
So
far.
which direction do you think that we all should be in right now?
Well, my focus is on us getting in America. I'm an American, so my focus is us getting compensation for the labor
That ain't gonna happen.
that wasn't compensated. It will happen. They said that niggas wouldn't.
Okay.
They said we was gonna drink from the cup.
Listen,
They
listen,
said, hold on,
listen.
hold
You
on.
can't
Hold
say
on. Let me
certain
cook.
things on
Can I
TikTok. You
cook?
can't.
Can I cook?
No. Listen. You can't say certain things on TikTok. You say certain things, you get the whole live dropped. You can't do that. You gotta TikTok friendly up your words.
Please. Yeah, so talk like you talking on Barney and Friends or something. You gotta talk like a Teletubby up here. You gotta unmute
You gotta talk like you're going to a job interview.
something.
Bro, y'all muting me. It's called anti-black racism, not intersectional racism. That's a term I've coined.
Okay, so I have a question. Who is the most unemployed individual in America?
Wait, hold on. All right. Why he leave?
He dipped.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, he realized that we weren't going to embrace an American identity, so he probably or well, he might actually request back up depending on if it was TikTok that did that. But
Oh, that might have been
Did he
TikTok.
get kicked? Oh, wow. You know, I always find it funny that we're not supposed to be able to walk and chew gum. That's how it's starting to feel.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think we all got to get together now to start working. If those that know should get to work
Okay,
and
look.
stop having conversations where you know what's going on, but you ain't doing nothing about it. That's the thing. So
I just want to say thank y'all for having me up on this panel, because y'all just open, and sometimes it takes for people to sometimes open up your eyes, because sometimes you could be close-minded to certain things, and a lot of humans fall guilty of that, and that's where it comes to learning, because sometimes we do things and we not know what situation we are in, So it was a living and learning experience,
yeah,
to identify what's real behind the fake mask of trying to care for, individuals and not be judgmental, but understand where I come from, that part too. And I don't take my culture for granted because I love who I am and I love my people.
well, that's the best start. That's the best start, and then know who you are. You labeled it right. Like that's what it is. Knowing yourself first, then loving your people outside of yourself, seeing them everywhere. All that leads to seeing what condition our environment's in, and then it's action time. That's what Amiri Baraka used to say. It's nation time. It's nation time. So that's when it's time for us to activate. Like you know what's going on. We're at this top level of conscious. I mean, it's not even top. It's like I don't know what's the chakra that controls doing stuff. It's below the mind, but yeah, but that's putting it to work, man. I don't see us doing that enough, I think. But it's cool. It's because we got to teach them who they are. That's what we up here to do.
It's funny. Uh the yeah I'm trying to remember the beginning of his particular name, but the individual that was just up on the panel literally just quoted Dr. John Henrik Clark, not even realizing that, but the individual on the panel quoted Dr. John Henrik Clark, but he literally everything that he stated is like contradictory to what Dr. John Henrik Clark stated in all of his lectures and all of his forewords, like written in the books and everything. Like they always do that. I don't know why they always do that. You know what? I think I know why. They ignore the lectures and they just hear the sound bites that sound really cool, and they don't listen to the rest of the lecture. Because if you listen to the rest of Dr. John Henrik Clark's lectures, everything that you just said, he absolutely disagrees with. So come on, family.
Yeah. Well, that's what Suncopedia is for. Something we
Right,
doing.
but whoever this character guy that you said that you listened to his lecture, he's just like another individual. So just the way he feel about something don't make it validated to everybody else.
You talking about John Henry Clark?
Yes.
You don't know if
So
he.
I'm just saying. Now he could be right. Now I have not listened to him, but
No.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
This is the master teacher you're talking about. This is the master teacher. The master teacher. Like not just like, oh, he could be just like everybody else. This is the man that like was a direct scholar for Malcolm X and taught him about Africa and stuff. Like this man dedicated his life since he was like, I think he said 9 years old. He learned he picked up like old history books and was just reading
I'm
history
not
books.
judging him, sweetie. I was just saying, like, in general, like, I'm not judging him because I have not picked up the research at all, and I will. But I was just saying, like, just, I don't know.
But I'm saying he's a doctor. He was a professor for many years. Like he was a well-respected academic. Um, like you know, that's the pinnacle of black historian. Like he taught the world, and even white people couldn't like dispute any of his claims because he always had research to back up what he was saying. So that's
Okay.
the thing. Like John Henry Clark, no one like he's the person where it's like other black spokespeople that came out of the 60s, 50s, all that, like they all had their leanings in one way or the other. John Henry Clark was just historian. He's just, I'm gonna show you these facts, these artifacts, these this art, and y'all gonna understand what I'm talking about. And that's what he did. So
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Quinn.
We back, brother.
Mhm. Yeah, Queen. I would highly recommend going onto YouTube, checking out every single lecture that you see listed under Dr. John Henrik Clark. Like, cause that brother, that king knows his stuff.
Well. When you discuss John Henry Clark, right, and you put things in perspective of even some of the books he wrote, right, uh, and the Diop, right.
mhm.
When you think about all of these books and all of these things associated with our people, from an African perspective, from a Black American perspective, when you think about these things, they correlate in one idea. They all come together in one idea, right? And we all know what that idea is.
What?
But America moves the needle. Where America goes, so follows the world. It's a proven fact scientifically.
Okay, but wait, where's the direction that you're saying that we're all? Like what?
Well,
What's?
I'm like I said, I can only speak
Yep, I got to know what this
for
idea
myself.
is. You
Tell me.
Yeah.
got
Good question.
I can't
what is that one idea that we all know?
speak. What, like I said, man, in America right now, what we're doing, specifically, I'm a part of the New Black Republicans. By the way, I know you hate it. I don't give a care. But I'm a part of the New Black Republicans. What we're doing is uh, we're submerging this party back into what it originally was, right? Because we feel that the Democratic Party has practiced benign neglect for so long that they've forgotten their voter base. And we don't need y'all.
Life. I just need to bring to your attention, family, that the Republican Party is literally telling you to your face that they have no desire to actually acknowledge
Excuse my
black
language,
people.
but
Hold on,
forget
family. Hold
all
on,
them
family.
old crackers,
Hold
man.
on, family. Hold on, family.
Whoa, whoa,
Forget
whoa,
them
It's
whoa!
crackers, man.
You gotta.
all, and again, TikTok friendly language.
Yeah, he gotta go. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't have him up here
Wow.
because the elections thing came up at the bottom now. Because he talking about politics on here. I think he
Republicans
trolling or
must be
something.
proud of him.
I don't know what that was. You gotta go.
Can I
It's
just address the topic?
Age, race, and pronouns.
Age, race, and pronouns. You heard?
Sir, you can address the topics after you give your age,
Oh, thank you. Um,
race, and pronouns. And
oh
then you
my
can
bad.
address it.
How old
So
are
I'm
you?
46 years old, Black African. Um, Pronouns, I don't know. I don't even want me to say. They call me.
All
Want me
right.
to have to
No, that's
fuss?
fine.
That's it.
Go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah, let me just drop my knowledge and I'm skating. Um, I don't think it's so much a discussion about race as it is about energy. I think the question should more be, can YT energy coexist with black energy? Can YT vibration coexist with African black vibration? The reason why I say that is because nobody can act like a color. We all heard the brother just up in the live saying he was a quote unquote black Republican. That's an ethnicity. You get to choose to do. You could choose to be an Ewok if you want, but who you come from is who you come from. And being that I come from Black African energy and vibration, I understand that a lot of the time racism is literally just based on race. But are we just a race? Can somebody act? How do you act like a color? This is what we have to ask ourselves. How do you act like? Oh, he's acting black. Huh? How? No, he's acting like a culture. He's acting like a vibration. He's playing out a vibration that he's used to from his lineage. So it's really a case of it's not necessarily a case of color. That's just phenotype and cells. We're talking about vibration and energy.
Yo, where you from?
I'm from London in the UK, bro.
Okay, y'all don't understand. Um, black is not just a color.
Go ahead, break it down for me.
In America, we have capital B black,
Hmm.
where it's more than a color. It's a unifying term for people with a common ancestry to the continent.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. I'm not
So
going to deny that for
that's
1 second.
right. So you see how that's a culture, but
I had no
also an
idea of that, by the way.
ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? It's intertwined. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Um,
It's like a different culture in London, in England,
yeah, but then
basically.
you have black where, people in Australia are like the indigenous people there are
Hmm.
called black. You see what I'm saying? But they're not connected to Africa.
Absolutely.
So it's like when we talk
They're
about
not related to
when
Africa,
we,
you said.
yeah, so when we talk about black people, we're not
Really?
talking about the color alone. But you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, of course. No, black people, listen, I'm not denying for 1 second that black African people are, no matter where we're scattered, listen, a tiger and a lion have the same ancestor, no matter what their differences are. They will always be connected because they're from the same lineage. So our genealogy don't change because we choose to be, they call us a Haitian, they call us Grenadian, they call us Jamaican, but we're just black Africans, bro. And I always defend that divinity there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about the great John Henry Clark, listen, that's my grandfather right there. All of those brothers there. That's how I first came into the light.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that the way they've separated us over the years, we've become so used to it that sometimes we often, like you just said, the Aborigines of Australia, you have to understand that Australia once was attached to Africa literally by land. England, America, South America,
Okay,
Canada, it was all attached to Africa.
family, hold up. Let me just stop you right there because
Go ahead, brother.
you're talking about Pangea, and
Hmm.
Pangea existed over 190 million years ago. Family,
I'm aware of this, brother.
there were no hominids living
That's not
on
true.
there
That's not
were no
true.
hominids. No.
That's not
There
true, bro.
were
I could
no
prove it's not
hominids
true.
living. Family, I'm telling you, there were no hominids
You,
living
you,
on Pangea
I
because
respect
the
that you can tell
presence.
me that, bro. Let me respond though.
Okay,
I'm
I can
saying
present you
I respect your
Smithsonian
word.
articles. I can show you that. I can put it right up on the screen.
Respectfully, brother. Can I respond to that?
Sure.
I'm saying to you, I have no doubt you can show me articles that human life only started from a certain point because eternity don't have a start. That's what we have to start with. Eternity has no beginning or end.
The
So when they're
divine has
finding,
eternity,
hold
not
on, brother, let me land, bro. When they're finding 700 million year old pyramids in Croatia under the ocean in a line, the damn Olmec heads that they found from the Olmec tribe who beat the Indians to it in America, those are like hundreds of millions of years old. They don't tell you the truth about those things, bro. You think all these things are hundreds of thousands of years old? Come on, bro. Let's use common sense here.
family.
Everywhere you
The
go on the
reason.
earth, there's some type of stone. Hold on, bro. Can I just land this and then I'll escape?
Yeah, no,
Because I want to hear what you're saying.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I respect you for that, my bro. I'll be real quick.
Top like y'all.
To this day, wherever you go on the earth, when you're talking about Pangea, they tell you that life only started from a certain.
Hello?
Hmm. The family, did you get a
Right.
point? So okay. We're gonna address that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, they can be traced back to the continent of Africa because they have uh, cultural similarities.
hmm
The bottleneck 100,000 years ago, when people split apart, they migrated there. That was what I
Yeah.
learned.
I need everybody to understand that hundreds of millions of years literally has the ability to separate entire continents worth of land masses. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the ocean currents were very different. Hundreds of millions of years ago, we're talking about an entire continent that used to be one continent called Pangea. It was a big landmass. And then eventually, over the multiple amounts of weather events, cataclysmic events, every form of geographical event or weather event or just any form of planetary event that took place led to the ways in which you're seeing the continents separated that they are today. There were no human beings walking around during that time period hundreds of millions of years ago. That's not how it
Yeah,
was.
I'm like, really? Can we talk about Black history?
Yeah, because like
we
it's like
talking
don't
about
get me wrong. Don't
we
get me
talking
wrong.
about a history lesson.
Yeah, like there's definitely evidence that does prove that black people circumnavigated the globe. Absolutely. But again, the time periods, like I need people to understand that hundreds of millions of years, rock gets completely eroded after a few thousand. Like there's literally, depending on the type of rock, you can actually see that there will be entire, maybe small streams thousands of years ago that have turned into massive rivers because of the ways in which rocky roads. And you're talking about hundreds of millions of years. The Olmec heads are not that old. They're only
No, no.
dating back to 1000 BC, some like a little bit before that. And that's it. They are not hundreds of millions of
Yeah, he
years old.
started backtracking.
Mhm.
Like, get on task, man. Get on task.
What's good, brother
So
Rashad?
What's up, man? Just listening in, man. Look, uh, can white people be pro-black? No. Allies? No, because I haven't seen one, and we've talked about this. I haven't seen one that they don't want to give up that privilege. They do not want to give up the inherent biases that the system creates for them. That's why we can't. That's why we can't shut a lot of these things down, because it is people upholding everything. Infrastructure. You know, if you look at the conflicts over the Arabian Peninsula, it's bad over there, and they uphold it. So no, there are no pro-black allies, because to be a pro-black ally, you would you would be in favor of you know reinstituting a lot of things that we go through on a daily basis, because all of these things have inherent biases. So no, they do not want to give up that privilege. Never ever uh, is interracial marriage problematic.
Mhm.
Yes, because to be uh to be a pro-black person, or to consider yourself, what I'm saying, about that action, you would have to have a pro-black spouse, regardless of sexuality. you know, it is what it is. If you marry on that side, like we just talked about, marriage is a contract. So you're saying you're gonna get in a lifetime contract with a person that would never give up the inherent biases that all of, what I'm saying, they don't want to do it. So that don't mix. It don't. I don't know how they do it, but hey, white people peacefully coexist. I mean, no. White folks got, well, we got weapons too, but they got certain things, and they don't need extras. They do it by hand as well. They they live in a constant state of it's like fear mixed with rage or something. It's like
Mm.
backwards rage. So I feel like as long as, like I said, it starts with wanting to dismantle. If you don't want to dismantle mentally, how can I expect you to start structurally going about that process? You know. So it's the word peacefully, as I know the definition to be. Like we talking about, aim defeats the fire lord, and then we can go back to balance. That has not happened, and it won't. So no, is my answer.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's facts, man.
What you just paused for?
Cause his brother be spitting, man. Nah, that's facts pretty much. That's the first A+ we had, I think. No, it's not. Yeah, nah, Juicy, you didn't answer the questions. She answered these questions. She came up for another live, I think. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry. So, I agree with brother. So where your spirit at?
You
I
said
tell
she ain't
you that.
trying to go down that journey.
Like, nose can wear your spirit out, but it's good for the spirit. I will never marry outside my race, and because I see it in the family and how sometimes when she get mad at him, she call him the N word. So
Who family?
Wait,
mine, but that's not, you know. So
wait, who are you talking about though?
with the question is interracial marriage is problematic.
That's
I'm
what they all
saying
do. They just don't say it out loud.
Who calls somebody the N word when they mad?
my people's wife. So you know,
Oh.
hey, that's here or there, but from and then also not throwing in religion and all that stuff, but reading about. I'm just not about to do it. You know, like I said, I don't judge people, but I'm not about to do it because you can't be all the way like someone else said. You can't be all the way yourself. And I see that. I see this in my own life. Like when you around a different culture and you so strong minded about who you are as yourself, right? And they're not comfortable knowing the energy that you bring, you know, because it's intimidating.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's just like how can you continue to learn your history and understand the energy that you bring if you in a relationship, not alone a marriage with an opposite culture, an opposite race, you know.
I could tell you, Queen, that it's not possible. It's not possible to fully engage in the celebration of your Africanity while dating outside of the African community. And to anybody who disagrees, we are not American. I don't care how much of a social security number they give us. I don't care how much of a citizenship they slap on us. I don't care how much in taxes we are paying. I don't give a damn about what title they try to slap on us. At the end of the day, we are Africans that are war contraband here forcefully. We were never meant to be here. We do not belong here. This land is not ours. We were forced to build here. We were forced to create cultures here. We were forced to create a some resemblance of normal here. And we get tricked by thinking that here is where we need to stay because at the end of the day, YT people do not want us to leave. Even though they mass unalive us, they don't want us to leave because if we do leave, that means that we take every single intellectual piece of Black African excellence right back over to Africa. And they don't want that. They want to still benefit off of the culture. They want to still increase the prison population because they do benefit from Black bodies being going through that. I was going to say mass unaliving house, I'll say. That's the reason why. They tell us every manner of everything else except for us celebrating our Africanity. And yeah, it's our responsibility as Black people to try to bridge the gap with the global Black African family as much as possible because YT people are never going to do it. They are not our culture. They are not who we are. They are mutations of African DNA. That's why they need to study African DNA in order to figure out how they can cure their ailments because, again, they are the recessive, they are the mutations of us being the blueprint. So that's the
So they
reality.
are the inbreed the basically they the Edomites, right?
Well,
That's
I mean, I would
yeah.
be careful with trying to associate things from like from Abrahamic religion perspectives because technically speaking, Abrahamic religions were all stolen intellectual property of our ancient African ancestors when they first formed African spirituality, and African spirituality dates back hundreds of thousands of years. Like that's the origin of every single religious concept on the planet comes from African spirituality. Kemetic spirituality formed was formed by Black Africans out of African spirituality. So technically, African spirituality, Kemetic spirituality, they go hand in hand. So you would be honoring the ancestors by practicing African spirituality and Kemetic spirituality. But just I would be careful in approaching it from that term, because if you approach it from that term, you might end up getting lost in the loophole of, what like the Hebrew Israelites are trying to say. And
What about the Nadathons? I can't pronounce it. The giants and all that stuff. So
yeah, you want to avoid conversations about giants and stuff, because like archaeologically we have never found, even though they have those photoshopped pictures that are
where
online.
you been?
What do you say, Queen?
No man. That's your opinion. That's your opinion, okay? I'm not
Well,
gonna.
it's
That's
well,
your
Queen.
opinion.
See, that's the thing right there. That right there.
Hey, we're human. We don't have to. We don't have to agree with everything. I don't have to agree with you.
Tell
You
us why
know,
you
We're
disagree.
human.
Just tell us why you disagree. I'm curious. You heard me, Juicy?
Because it make a lot of sense of everything that's going on spiritually in the world.
Okay, what's making sense?
You do.
I don't want to get deep into it.
And I do feel like if I can't say this is what happens when you deal with semantics. When we get on here and talk facts, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of when you're dealing with, hey, we're dealing with these giants, and we was on John Henry Clark, but it's difficult to back these things up when there's little to no proof against cold hard facts, you know, especially when we're dealing with Africa.
yeah, Queen. It's not an attack of you in any way, shape, or form. Quite
I
the
don't take it
contrary.
like that, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
kind of
appreciate it.
like, so you saying that we not from here. We not from here. That we all belong over in Africa.
Absolutely. As black people, yes, absolutely.
All right.
So you going with the theory that we was all put on the boat and chained and shipped
Well,
over here, as
real
what
quick,
was
Queen.
taught in the school books.
Well, real quick, Queen.
I'm
I
just
want to be
asking.
very, very. Yeah, no, I understand. I just want to be very, very careful with the verbiage that we use, because it's not a theory. It happened. Like, there's a man by the name of Elwiada Equiano. He wrote down his firsthand account, his actual personal experience of what it was like inside of a European enslavement ship. And he was 11 years old. He wrote this in the 1700s. And this basically was very much so corroborated by other people that also lived during that time period. And he was even used in the courts for abolitionist movements to show the brutality and the unimaginable barbarism of the European transatlantic slave trade, so that they could try to dismantle it and make it illegal. So this man very much so did exist. There is very much so records of where he existed, where he traveled to, documents that
So you
absolutely.
saying that the Europeans was over here first?
No, 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 not at all. The Europeans came here centuries, and there's also evidence to suggest thousands of years after people of African ancestry also circumnavigated the globe. So the thing is that there's always truth, or at least some type of
So
partial truth.
what was the ancestors that was over here
Well,
first? Because you said
well,
that we wasn't over
now,
here, that we was over in Africa. So where
Queen,
was the
I can
white
answer the
people at?
question.
The white tees.
Queen, I can absolutely answer the question. So, absolutely, there were already people groups that were here because they navigated from Asia across either the Pacific Ocean, like following the coastlines, or there was a landmass at that time that was connecting Alaska and Asia. So it's possible that they also traversed across that. They're still kind of debating on how that actually happened. But we do know that the earliest human remains that they found in the Americas only date back about 20,000 years. But if you go to Africa,
So
in
was they black? I'm a student, so
everybody,
I'm asking questions.
Queen, yeah, no. It's fine to ask. It is perfectly fine to ask questions. There is nothing negative about asking. So absolutely everybody during that time period, everybody on planet Earth basically was black. Were they African? When you live outside of Africa for that amount of time and then you intermix with all the other, like what they were called hominids. Hominids are, like, for example, Neanderthals. So Neanderthals are like a subspecies just underneath modern Homo sapiens. They have done studies of Neanderthals and found that they had the
So
ability to.
ain't the wait a minute, brother, because hold on, because that contradicts yourself. Because I know these words. So the Neanderthals, and I'm not pronouncing it right, but don't judge me, y'all. Okay,
No judgment. No judgment.
it's
It's okay.
however we pronounce that. But the word that you just said, they are part of the giants. You said there wasn't no giants.
No. They are not giants at all. Neanderthals, they found the bones of Neanderthals. Neanderthals were not giants. They were not big.
I'm
They were
sorry if
actually
I'm yelling.
shorter. Yeah, no, it's fine. They're not, they're shorter than basically modern Homo sapiens essentially were. And their brain cases, although their brain cases were slightly, I believe, big, like they had almost the same size of modern humans, like modern Homo sapiens is what they refer to as. They still didn't have the intellectual capability to be able to advance their innovation and tool building, stuff like that. So, like, they could talk, and because they were only like a few 100,000 years of separation, or like maybe like a million or something like that, you can still have a baby with a species of previous hominid, like with a species that is not fully modern human, but they unalived off about 70,000 years ago. The Neanderthals, my bad, they unalived about 70,000 years ago. But there absolutely is evidence, especially inside of YT people's genetics, that Neanderthals basically, very much so, there was some intermixing and some mating going on between modern humans and the Neanderthals 70,000 years ago when they both were existing at the same time.
So do you think that they still got some ancestors here on Earth today? The
Um,
offspring.
well, we definitely know that like Neanderthals, they have very much so unalived off, so there isn't any more of them. But we do know that Europeans and Asians have the highest concentrations of Neanderthal DNA. And the only reason why we know that is because during COVID, a whole bunch of Europeans and Asians were getting mass unalived by a sickness, and then they did studies on it, and then come to find out COVID-19, having higher concentrations of Neanderthal DNA, actually adversely and very negatively impacts a person who has been exposed to COVID-19. So, like, there's a lot of other stuff that's linked with Neanderthal DNA too, like psychological problems. So that's linked to it. Skin diseases, that's linked to it. Well, certain kinds of skin diseases is linked to it. A more of a greater risk of being dependent on tobacco products, nicotine, things like that. That's also been linked to it. Um, and I think, malnutrition, hyper blood coagulation. Hyper blood coagulation really, really hurts pregnant women. So the people with higher Neanderthal counts of DNA, they were getting, they're really impacted by that, which is also another reason why it's dangerous for Black people to try to procreate with YT people, because doing that literally introduces more of their DNA into Black African societies, and it can be detrimental and devastating to us in the future.
Right.
And again, I'm telling you this,
Because they have
and
a different blood type and all that stuff, right? That's what you're saying,
I
basically.
mean, different. I would say different genetic composition. So, I mean, yeah, you can, the DNA, the genetics is in the blood. It's like when you get really microscopic and you look into it, you can see all the DNA and the molecules and all that small, really really small shit. But yeah, for the most part, that's why it's important to prioritize the unapologetic facts, like what they're coming out with the research papers, and this is all stuff I can share with you. It gets very like it is difficult to like go through the first couple of times, but just as long as you have a dictionary handy on your phone, which I've been using, then you can get a good understanding as to what it is that the papers and universities and such are talking about, Queen.
Wow, that's deep. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. We got Aaron Doc at the top. What's going on, Aaron?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Peace.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead. Actually, you've been up here before, so you good. Go ahead. Talk to us, brother.
Yeah. Um, I said it. Well, I can honestly say that um, you want me to answer the questions or
Yeah, go ahead. Talk to us. Whatever
yeah.
bring you up.
Well, can white people be pro-black allies? No, they can only be anti-racist. And if you ask me, the amount of white people that are anti-racist are about smaller than our supposed population. Very, very, very small. Okay? Is interracial marriage problematic? Absolutely. Because and especially because when you're like for me it's like for us as black people, we always want to we always we always get hyped up on this whole love is love crap, and I'm like, no, because the minute that putrid pasty powdered parasite calls you, the minute that you and that putrid pasty powdered parasite spouse of yours get into an argument, he or she will call you the N word, or will call you a porch M word, and all this other stuff. It's like, or the fact that they'll use you as a scapegoat to hide behind their racist, bigoted, hateful, barbaric, bleached behavior. So, and what's even worse is that whenever they have their kids, they're gonna subject their kids to like the BS. So no, I don't think that interracial relationships. So I don't think that interracial relationships will cure racism. Interracial dating will cure racism. I don't think any of that is going to cure racism. Okay. And which brings us to the third topic. Can white people peacefully coexist with black people? I don't really think so, because unfortunately we live in a society that is so hell bent on making sure that America remains a white ethnocentric, white ethno state country. Okay? That's why you see all this overturning of Roe v. Wade, the overturning of DEI. Like they're already trying to pull back the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act. So it's like, this is where, so like I said, like I'm not here for the holding hands and saying we are the world. I'm not here for unity. I refuse to unify with the cancerous, catastrophic, colonizing, cockroach, crusty cream, cockle doodle doo demons. I'm not here for it. Because a lot of them will still see you as 3/5 of a human being and have no rights that a white man is bound to respect, all the while using your music and your culture and your bodies as costumes, accessories, and fetishes. And the fact that so many of our Sambodian shucksters, who are nothing more than members of the Clayton and Claytel Bigsby Booty Hole Kissers Club with a degree in Step and Fetch Your 101 from Uncle Ruckus University, wants to go on and do this kind of crap. We leaving y'all in the dust.
Hello, back at the right, Mr. Aaron. I love your language.
listen, the fact that so many, like I said, thank you. The fact that so many of our people want to go along to get along to, like, seek that, get a seat at the to get a seat at the musty male milk the mother brother sister fondlers club, like, it's unbelievable.
I don't know how you come up with that so fast, man. That's wild. You like a freestyle spitter, man, but you speaking facts, man.
Listen, I listen. All of what I've seen, all of what I've learned, all of some of the things that that some of my family members experienced, it's sad. It's like, and I realized that the reason why people, and this kind of made me realize why so many people chose Cheeto Satan, is because of that they feel like he represents everything. To me, like, he represents the regressiveness of America. He represents the regressiveness of this country, and the he represents recessive gene behavior. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
He represents the recessive gene behavior. He represents anti-blackness. He represents everything that they believe that this country was founded for. That they believe. And when I say they, I do mean the putrid pasty powdered parasites and the Sambodian shucksters. So yeah, I'm not here for it. Until the system of Wahite supremacy and anti-blackness is destroyed, demolished, and dismantled, then no, we cannot coexist. Interracial dating, interracial relationships will not work, and we cannot get along.
All right, bro. That's real.
And for those of and I know there's some people going to come up here and say, "Oh, you hating on white people, you anti-white." Please.
Nah, we ain't think about that, man. We got some Pan Africans in here.
I
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody here doing what you're doing, and let's continue to spread the word and wake our people up.
Absolutely. That's what we're gonna do. Peace, bro.
Do you want to build? Are you tired of sitting around and not doing anything with yourself? Do you sit in front of a computer and wonder, what can I do for the Black community? How can I help? Well, you need to join b1initiative.org, where you can actually be great. If you don't have the time to donate and actually help build, you can help in donating the funds. Go ahead, send $1. Send $2, send $10. Bring down Babylon. You guys, you can also subscribe to where you can support the building of Black history. This is where we're making America great. Sankofapedia, bringing Blackness to the world. Listen, y'all. It's Black people building for, with Black people, about Black people. We're giving our voices the real history of what has happened with the Black facts. Join the Discord. Make sure you guys are donating and supporting. And most importantly, make sure you guys are sending brother some gifts. But hey, while you're here, we got positions to fill. We got jobs that are open. And if you got the time, we need your help. Join the Discord.
The
Appreciate you,
Pan
D.
African ICBC commercial is crazy. Are you bored? Are you sitting on your couch?
Are you tired of the pretendians? Are you tired of identifying outside of your Africanity? Well, come on down to B1 Initiative. That was dope as hell.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We've been doing a lot of things. I've been building a lot of things. I wanna do y'all think we could talk in Discord?
Now,
Are y'all free tomorrow?
Should be. I got a few clients.
I can't answer this honestly.
Around what time? Around what time we talking, family?
No, I was just wanted to know. I mean, if y'all too busy, it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, obviously a public platform, but everything. Well, yeah. Um, I can uh move something around to yeah, to free up some space. Make sure.
All right. Oh, you're not in Discord, Mrs. Santiago? Oh, you need to. Um. Okay. All right. So you in it. Um. Basically, it's like there's a menu on the side, but we send a ping to everybody, so like you'll be able to see when we go into the meeting. Yeah. I think we should do it now, Stella. Like I don't know. Are y'all free now?
Yeah, I can do it now.
All right.
I'm colored.
What?
Let me send D $10 so she can get some tea.
I'm not.
Oh.
Hey. You ain't coming for me. Now I'm clearing up now.
All right. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Donate $1 and get in that tub.